Hey, listener, I am so excited you press play on this episode of the Jock and Nerd Podcast because it's our 3-year anniversary. Thanks for stopping by the celebration. In your goodie bag, we're giving you a full spoiler review of Season 2 of Marvel's Jessica Jones on Netflix. Plus, Phil Coulson returning to the MCU on the big screen. What is going on with the X-Men movies over at Fox Studios? And we talk about what it's been like podcasting for 3 years, what's changed since 2015, and what you, the listener, mean to us.
Jock and Nerd.
All that and more in this edition of the Jock and Nerd Weekly for Thursday, March 29th, 2018.
Check one. All right. This is for all you fans out there. Let's give it up. We jockin', we nerdin'. We funny, disturbing. We jockin', we nerdin'. We spoiling, alert. Oh yeah! We jockin', we nerdin'. We funny, disturbing. Oh yeah! We jockin', we nerdin'. We spoiling, alert. Give it up one time.
Yo, what's up, fam? Thanks for tuning in and welcome to the Jock and Nerd Podcast.
Jock and Nerd.
This is year 4 of us delivering comic book and superhero TV and movie news reviews and whatever we choose. Welcome to year 4. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
Oh, well, look who decided to show up. Well.
Bro, do you even podcast?
I guess he does now all of a
It's a
sudden.
special occasion. It's our birthday.
It is our birthday. Glad you can make it. He's the jock.
And that asshole's the nerd.
Yes, thank you. I am the nerd. And right over there in the corner, you could probably smell him from where you're sitting, listener. It's everyone's favorite felty American, Rugberto Bambino, but his friends call him Rugboy. Good earth to your rugs.
Happy anniversary!
Happy anniversary.
What's up, dudes?
How's it going? It is, this is, we're entering year 4. We postponed our 3-year anniversary show because Anthony was missing. It was kind of like Rugs. It was like you and I were sitting there. I made dinner. The table was set. I lit some candles. It was a very nice place setting. 3 seats. And we just sat there and waited. And nothing happened.
Well, you touched me under the table.
I'm always down for a good party, so that's why I'm
So,
here.
look, let's catch up real quick. Anthony, how was your trip in the Phoenix?
In the Phoenix?
Yeah.
Inside the Phoenix?
Inside the Phoenix.
Yes.
It was nice. Phoenix, I went to Scottsdale specifically, so
Oh, Scottsdale.
nice warm weather, a little warmer than Chicago. It was a nice wedding, so had some fun.
Right on.
Now, did you get white boy wasted?
I wouldn't say I got white boy wasted. The thing when I go out on trips is I'm paranoid about getting white boy wasted because my body, if I'm home, I know to just get home. Like I know how to get home. But when
Right.
I'm out somewhere else
You get
in a foreign
confused.
land,
little confusing.
I don't trust my body to get
You don't
me home.
like just fucking fly by the seat of your pants wherever you end up. You'll find a way.
I used to have the philosophy of parachuting, where wherever I land is where I land.
Yeah. That
But,
gets old after a while.
but now
doesn't
I'm
it?
old.
Yeah.
I'm older.
You get
you're
old.
30. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Dirty
like when
30.
you're 30, you can't be that irresponsible anymore. So I didn't get white boy wasted. Scottsdale is great though. Very nice, very fun.
Scottsdale. Did anybody touch your spaghetti?
Somebody touch my spaghetti.
Did you bring spaghetti with you?
I had a good time.
Oh, that's a political answer.
Okay, moving on. Check out the show notes for this episode. jockandnerd.com/214 because you're going to find links to everything we talk about, links to all the ways you can subscribe to the show. You never miss a show. And for this show, here's what we're going to do, guys. This is what I thought. Since Anthony missed last episode, I thought we could replay last week's episode and then we'll comment on it. And then next week, we'll play that episode and comment on our commentary.
Jock and Nerd.
What do you think? Does that
That's
sound like
too meta.
Does that
Wait,
the
what?
content makes it? Does your head hurt now? Oh, I'm kidding. We're not going to do that.
You've just confused everyone, and I award you no points.
I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
No, this episode we're going to finally review the second season of Marvel's Jessica Jones on Netflix. Then I got a couple of news stories I want to get your guys' opinions on.
So it's not a full review, or it is a review, but
It's a review.
Review.
This show is more than just the review.
Yes, we got a little bit of everything. We're going to have news, reviews, and whatever we choose. And the whatever we choose part is us masturbating about 3 years of podcasting.
Yeah, strap yourselves in,
Strap
assholes.
yourselves in. So look, if you...
So by the end of this, I guarantee I will be ornery and like not wanting to be here anymore.
Oh, boy.
I'm getting drunk, so it doesn't really matter.
Right on. And look,
It's a party for me.
Listener, this is going to be a spoiler review. So if you haven't seen Jessica Jones, check the show notes because I put time code in there, motherfuckers. I do all the detailed work. You can just jump past the review and listen to our news and our casturbation session.
This is what I want to happen.
Yeah.
During this, and I'm planning on getting drunk on multiple podcasts.
Right on.
So I would like the listeners to on the nation to send in the time code of when they think I'm officially drunk. All right, if you can figure out the moment where I'm fucking shit faced,
Yes.
then we'll see what multiple people say.
We can go back and zoom in on those, listen to it, and see if they're accurate. Like,
That would
were
be
you actually
great.
drunk? What was the moment Rugs
Yes.
gets shitty? Before we get to all Jessica Jones, you guys, I really look forward to Mondays now. You like Mondays? Nobody likes Mondays.
Why?
What are you, Garfield?
I love Mondays now because that is when new episodes of Marvel's first audio drama podcast,
Oh.
Wolverine: The Long Night,
Jock and Nerd.
are released. They are 4 episodes in, and the show is a great slow burn. You know, Wolverine's presence is felt in stories, and every episode there's more of him, and I feel like by the end of it, he's gonna be at the forefront. And if you want to check out Wolverine: The Long Night, you are in luck. We have a free month of Stitcher Premium just for you, listener.
Jock and Nerd.
Just visit Stitcher.com/premium. Use the promo code NERD. You're going to get a free month of Stitcher Premium, and that's the only place you can hear this podcast. It's very good. Everyone should do it.
And you can listen to other shit while you have the free pass.
Yes, they have actually a lot of great comedy albums on there and a lot of unique shows. And there's an after show to the Wolverine show, which is also really good because they interview a lot of the talent, the writers and the voice actors, and you get a lot of insight on the show. It's and Stitcher's nice. The app is a really nice interface. I was pretty impressed. I'm loving it.
It's very good.
Yes. Stitcher.com/premium, promo code NERD. Do it now. Here's another great thing that happened before we get to Jessica Jones. I love when listeners request audio clips and drops for us to add to our lovely soundboard.
Wowie zowie!
Just like that. And when you come and tell me exactly where to pull it out, I love that the most.
I love telling people when to pull it out.
You tell me where to pull it out, when to pull it out.
Get your hand out my slack hole.
I will do it all over your face and chest. But check this out. Listener and patron John Seifert, who I have an audio clip from him at the end of the show also, he wrote in requesting a clip. Here's what he said. Something that happened that I found really funny during one of the shows that I wanted to point out. Go back and listen to episode 202 when you had John Bellotti on. At 1 hour, 35 minutes and 40 seconds, you talk about what's upcoming for 2018 and say Black Panther, directed by Ryan Coogler. And then at 1 hour, 35:50, just listen to Anthony's and John's reply. Here it is.
I'm pumped.
Yeah, me too.
He continues.
Well, that's a
now
real
I
laugh.
know they're both pretty low-key, laid-back dudes, but I laugh so hard because if I've ever heard a less enthusiastic I'm pumped, yeah, me too, out of 2 motherfuckers who couldn't sound less pumped about something, I can't remember.
Full disclosure, there's no Godzilla in Black Panther, so Bellotti would not be pumped about that for real.
And I wasn't getting laid watching Black Panther. So.
Oh, that's a
I
good
wasn't
point.
It was too serious.
So now we got that. It's a good addition to the oh shit. Instead of using oh shit, I just go,
I'm pumped.
Yeah, me too.
wow, you guys sound so excited. Sounds so
Great.
enthusiastic.
That's funny that a listener isolated that audio found
Yes.
that audio and I told us to isolate
If
it.
any listener wants to contribute to the clips,
I'm pumped.
just give me the time code. John Seifert's also the one who gave us the news reviews and whatever we choose modification of our tagline, John.
Jock and Nerd.
Wow.
He is a great listener. And I also got a second clip. It needs no introduction. Here it is.
Damn. That bacon is so serious, boy.
If you're into internet memes, you may know the damn cheeseburger review.
Oh, that's a classic.
All right. Those are added. Let's see where I can fit them in. Let's get to the review, fellas.
The Jock and Nerd Podcast.
So, listener, like I said, if you want a sound clip, just contact us. Send us the info, where to find it. Visit our website, jockandnerd.com/contact. You'll find our Twitter page, Facebook page, SpeakPipe. We have an audio clip to play for you today. And our Facebook group, Jock and Nerd Nation, that continues to grow every week. And fellas, it's gotten to the point where like so many new people are added and are joining that I'm not going to read the names this week. I have a separate idea. Let's see if this works. Follow me here. We got a Facebook group leaderboard, top contributors in the last 28 days.
How do you track this, Imran?
This is all tracked by the Facebook group page insights on Facebook.
Oh.
So this is legit
So it's
data.
legit. It's legit.
It is legit data as of today. I'm going to give you the top 5. Number 5, Blake Braden. Number 4, Adam Morris, PhD, science guy to the Jock and Nerd Podcast.
Whoa.
Number 3, Jason Dutch Mummert from Voice from the Underground Podcast.
Nice.
Number 2, top contributor Michael Cherkowski from the VampireRobots.com.
Really?
Number 1 contributor to the Jock and Nerd Nation Facebook group. No surprise here, Jess Rivera.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, that dude's clocking in hours.
That man knows how to engage a Facebook group. He is all over the place. Good for him. Now, if anybody wants their name in the leaderboard, you know what you got to do. Just start posting shit. Start contributing.
Yeah, but if you start spamming with stupid shit, I'm going to block you, so don't do that.
Yeah, so, and that's all. That's going to hurt everyone's rating. So it's got to be honest, legit stuff. And listen, everyone in the group, you guys have been doing real well. Posted awesome stuff. I love seeing our listeners.
Imran is a proud father.
I'm such a proud father. And I found out apparently some of the listeners miss Anthony, maybe.
Oh, shit.
When they've noticed, Anthony, that maybe you're like on every other show lately.
I don't even, first off.
What's your response to this, Anthony?
I haven't been missing that. I can't think of the last show I've missed prior to this one.
All right. Well, I don't know why people like Ray O'Neill.
But
yeah.
The people that do miss me, and we're going to get into these comments.
Yeah.
I don't know if you actually miss me or if you want me gone. Either way, go get a fucking life and worry about something else. All right.
It kind of feels like someone wants to like.
No, I'm just kidding. I don't
take your place.
I just think that any inn to have some kind of something to dig on, like they'll take it. You know.
Yeah.
No. Actually, I actually really appreciate the
And
fucking.
that's what we love. It's
any
funny,
opening
funny
to get
thing.
fucked with.
we could
funny
dish it.
stuff that people are putting up on
We
there.
could dish it. We could take it. It's hilarious. So Ray O'Neill
I
started.
think I've laughed at every one of these.
Yes,
Actually.
Ray O'Neill starts a thread. So has anyone taken a tally of who's been on more episodes? The Jock or Rugboy?
Oh, shit.
Glenn Smith says, my guess is Rugboy. Jock seems to always have better things to do. LMAO.
Right off the bat, I came in on episode 13, so like I'm
Right.
13 behind. So Anthony would have to be MIA 13 times.
You have to miss like 50 episodes. John Bellotti Jr. said Jock is getting laid as we speak. And then,
which is probably true.
which is probably true. David Malofsky, it's hard for me to tell them apart sometimes. Best way to remember is that Rugboy has someone's hand inside him, and the Jock usually has his parts inside.
That's a pretty
someone
fucking
else.
astute observation.
That's a good
Well,
observation.
David, that's very, very good.
That is why
observation.
Rugboy speaks in the tone he is speaking in, and I am so relaxed.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's why Anthony's always just like,
Whoa! Imagine, this is what your voice would sound like if someone's hand was like tickling your asshole, right?
woo,
Wow!
hello.
Yow!
Apparently, this is how you would sound like if you just got laid.
Yeah. Very astute.
Hey, baby, how's it going? And then Blake Braden, completely separate thread, like had the same thoughts because he posts a picture of a milk carton with Dr. Dre, missing Dr. Dre on the side. And the comment is it too soon to start putting the Jock on milk cartons?
Like if you would have actually put Anthony on a milk carton, you would have won the internet.
Yeah.
I may have
Blake,
to Photoshop that.
This was lazy.
You need, yeah, that was a little lazy. You got to throw my face.
Blake,
on there.
you were so close, Blake.
and then you just got to put the Jock and Nerd number on there, and it would have been easy.
You were a quick Photoshop away from make it, but I gave him points. I was like, Blake, you get points. for that.
I award him a silver medal right there.
And then Seth Morgan does have I got to read this comment. He goes, ouch. Well, he's obviously got more of an active social life than the rest of us put together. So it's hard to hate the guy for getting a little stanky on his hang down now and then. Am I right? Yes, he's right.
I never heard of that. Stanky on his hang
I'm
down.
getting stanky on the hang down, yo.
That's good too. I'm
Well.
pumped.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, pretty pumped.
I gotta throw a special shout out, and you're not necessarily someone that missed me.
Yeah.
But it looked like David Zika was in Arizona or Phoenix.
Oh, yes. That
Phoenix
was also
specifically.
hilarious. Yes.
And he mentioned in the page that he had thought he saw me, and then he was like, he realized it was just a cactus.
It's
He has just a picture of cactus.
Very,
I thought that was
well done.
very clever as
They're
well.
both bricks.
Well done, Zika, with a assist from Rugboy. I love it.
I didn't know we had a show last week, guys. I really didn't.
Yeah, whatever. We had a show? This shit comes out no matter who shows up.
We do this weekly? I didn't know that.
For the last 3 years now,
Oh,
Anthony.
shit. Is that what we've been doing?
Yes, let's get
This
to
is recorded?
I'll start at the beginning. My whole family was killed in a car accident. Someone did horrific experiments on me. I was abducted, raped, and forced to kill someone. And I'm in here bouncing a goddamn ball!
So, how is anger management?
Still angry.
All right. Let's get into the Jessica Jones. Of course, I gotta issue this.
Strap yourselves in, you fucks. Spoiler time.
We will be discussing season 2 of Marvel's Jessica Jones on Netflix. A very different season than the first season, which we all loved. It was a strong season, one focus. We had a main bad guy type psychological thriller.
I didn't do instant reaction to this. I'm sorry.
This one, I didn't either. We don't do them for the Netflix shows on the Patreon. We probably could have.
We should have.
We did actually on the Patreon. Ruggs and I discussed Jessica Jones a little bit
good.
when we finished. But I'm actually glad I waited to review it because my thoughts have changed on this show given time to sink in. Because it's a different kind of Jessica Jones. So let's do what we do. Opening thoughts. What worked? What didn't work? Anthony, lead it off since you're here. Let's have you do some work.
Was it initial thoughts, or we're just gonna go right into what
Just
worked?
do initial thought, and then we'll just go right in.
I want to know how long it took you to get through the series. I want to know if you noticed. This is also the season that every episode is directed by a different female director. And then give me opening thoughts when it ended. What'd you think?
When it ended, I liked it. You know, I think it's certainly not as good as the first season. In my opinion. I don't think they could have really done much to get to that first season's level. Yeah. I think that first season with Kilgrave, I mean, he just steals everything. But I think this second season, after really looking back on it, I don't think it was as tightly, well done and as fast moving at some points as the first season. But I think it was a worthy follow up, and I think the themes that are there, if you really look for them, are almost just as strong. And I think it is a worthy follow-up. I think it had the almost impossible task of following up on that first season, but I think it was entertaining if you go into this and you kind of just have an open mind about it and kind of really analyzed what they're going for, which is the theme of addiction and drugs.
Okay, very good, Ruggs.
Yep.
We talked a little bit, on the Patreon right after I watched it. What are your thoughts now? Have they changed it all since you've seen it? And how long?
No,
how long did it take you to watch it?
I didn't answer that.
Yeah, you didn't answer that part. Yeah. How long did it take you to watch it?
I think a week, maybe a little over a week.
Okay. Okay.
I think I'm about the same. I'm in the same area. I think I watched 2 episodes a night.
Yeah.
And then one night I just powered through the end because I was really close to the end. Dramatically, it was very strong, and I think that's because of the female directors. But then again, the action was weak, so I don't know what that means. But with that said, I feel like that there's overall it was good. I feel like that I can't say it was bad. I did think that there were some forced character moments, and I felt like it was especially with Trish.
Yeah.
And the mother just constantly changing her opinion all the time, and then Jessica constantly changing her way of dealing with her mother all the time. It was just a little bit forced. Maybe it wasn't enough time to breathe in this, in how they decided to make those changes. But overall, if you kind of can get past that forced element, I think that it's very good.
Okay.
Because it's dramatic and it's compelling and you want to watch what happens next. And you're not watching it from the standpoint of let's see what fucking crazy shit's going to go down action wise. You just want to see how the story unfolds.
Yeah.
So I think it's strong in that in that dramatic way. Yes.
Right on. Yeah, I kind of feel the same. It took me a while to adjust to the season because it was so different than the first season where you have, kind of one focus and you kind of know where it's going. This one was like every character had like parallel plot lines and they occasionally weave through. But I think the strength of the cast, the performances, and the direction, this remains one of the better series of the Netflix, out of all of them.
It's still, head and shoulders above like all the Luke Cage and
absolutely yes,
and
Defenders and Iron Fist.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. It's up there. If not, we'll rank it at the end. But I agree with Anthony. I didn't think it was as good as the first season. But man, the drama, the themes, of the mommy issues, the addiction, the abuse, and the kind of way they split the story for long form storytelling, worked and didn't work. It still had pacing issues, but yeah, at the end, now that I think about it, like after a week, it was pretty strong, very strong. It did take me a week to get through. It wasn't as bingey. It didn't really compel me to watch until the back half. The back half of it is like a whole different show than the front half.
That's what I was saying. I was kind of like going it, one or two at a time, one at a time. And then there was a certain turning point where like, I think they had revealed the mother.
Yes.
And then I was like, at first I was taken aback by it. And then I was on board with it. And then as soon as I got on board with it, it started to kind of like move really fast.
Yeah.
The difference with this show in terms of like in comparison to the other Marvel shows or like just superhero shows in general, besides the action, which is one of the obvious ones, is that there really is no overarching villain. There's nothing driving this plot to ahead of in terms of confrontation.
Well, there is, but it's like very ham-fisted. It's like the idea that Trish Walker had somehow like activated this woman to start killing people.
Right.
And that you have to take that leap of faith or that suspension of disbelief to be on with the show. But if you can get past that, then everything else kind of like starts rolling.
Like there's no initial, like the conflicts that you want to see. There's nothing that's like, I really want to see, like in the first season, it's like, I really want to see Jessica get her hands on Kilgrave.
Right.
Like, that's what you want. This one, it's like, I want her to get to the doctor. Wait, no, I want her and the mom to be happy.
Yeah.
I want her and the mom to maybe fight. What am I doing? It's always changing.
It's very challenging.
Yeah.
It challenged you a lot.
It did.
You were like, you didn't know what to feel. You didn't know, but it was interesting to watch.
Yeah, it was.
Well, let's talk about what really worked for us. Do you think it's wise? I kind of liked how they ignored the other shows and the heroes, yet like powered people were just like matter of fact, like it was a thing everyone accepted. And I love the Whizzer. I was sad that they killed him right away. That was hilarious.
I think the fact that Captain America got a shout out, was cool.
Yeah.
Like it's like, okay, they're existing in the Marvel universe. They're openly talking about powered beings. It does place it somewhat in context. So I think that was a cool move for them. The fact that they have like the Whizzer in there and
as an obscure character,
I
too.
feel like that I felt like there's gonna be more than of that.
Yes, I thought so too. What did you guys think of the way that the Whizzer, his effects? I saw a lot of people were like making fun of it, but I actually thought it made me laugh.
We're starting off with the Whizzer?
It kind of, okay, we're maybe not the Whizzer.
I'm going to be a Whizzer in about 5 minutes after this beer.
All right, you know what else I liked? I liked that they set up the plot really quickly right in the beginning, but then the twist midway is a great payoff. Like the back half of the reveal is a great payoff because in the beginning, you think it's IGH killing people that were involved in the experiment to clean house.
Right. It's like this government conspiracy or some kind of like evil conspiracy.
And then the irony that IGH just stands for what? International Garment and Holding. And it's some like...
it's a cover company, but...
Yeah. But like I always
it's
pictured...
more the everything is kind of flipped on its head. So like you have the government being this conspiracy, which is a very big cliche. Wait, no, it's not. It's actually just a doctor trying to cure people. Yeah. Oh, wait, it's an evil doctor. No, actually, it's not. It's just a doctor trying to kill people. Oh, wait, the mom's evil. Wait, no, she's really not evil. Oh, wait, the doctor's actually controlling the mother. Actually, she's not. He's not. He's actually afraid of her.
Oh, he's afraid of her.
Like it's all things that like are cliche, and it's like, wait, nope, not really.
Well, there was a thing where there was like there'd be a problem, and then they'd solve it, and then I'd be like, okay, well now what the fuck? What's gonna happen? And then they'd like another problem, and then like that'll get resolved. And then I'm like, okay, now where is it going? Like, what is the thing?
Yeah, I actually felt bad for the doctor in this whole situation.
Carl Mullis, yeah. He had good intentions.
He keeps getting called a monster, and I was like, I don't think he's a monster.
I don't know how. That's another thing that I had to make a leap of faith of, because like I was like, how do I believe that Jessica Jones thinks he's a monster? Like he imbued her with all this power, and there's really no negative to what Jessica Jones had. Her mother had the side effects.
Why was she
and
so?
She didn't even know about her mother for most of the time that she had her powers. So I was wondering why she had that strong feeling against Malice. Like, I just got fucking super strength and no one can fucking hurt me. I'm now more empowered than anyone. Let me just fucking call this guy an asshole.
I'll agree.
I was going to die.
Yeah,
like, it's not even like he kidnapped her.
No, he saved her life.
Yeah.
And made her stronger.
It was very gray. It was a very gray area, and it was very hard for me to adapt to that whole
The only part I could see Malice, is that his name? Malice?
Carl Malice.
Carl Malice getting some blame is that he was kind of co-signing the murder people.
Yeah.
I mean, he wasn't actively telling her to do it, but he wasn't stopping her either.
Well, okay, there's a crime by omission right there.
Right.
But really, would he been able to stop her? She's a super powered
he created her, but it's a weird thing because he created her. So he has responsibility for that, but he saved her.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's one of, I mean, it's lies in the gray area of, okay, well.
But that's kind of great at the same time.
That's good.
Yeah.
And I mean, what's interesting about the season is like, none of this is from the comics. I don't think like they are now just making their own path.
Well, because Jessica Jones isn't.
Not much comics.
It's one of those things that the decisions that they made are so unconventional. Sometimes it's hard to jump on,
right?
Because you're like that's so unusual. That that twist is so kind of unusual. I don't know if I can get on board with that. Like, there's a scientist that is not evil. He's really like a nice guy.
I mean, I thought I kind of like that twist.
Smokes weed.
The mad scientist is like this gentle hippie who he saved their life. I like learning about the crash and what actually happened. And early on, how she's having the flashes of going back to the place where she was made.
And it's one. I mean, he's the gentle scientist, and the guy that stole the stuff from him, Kozlov.
Right.
He had him killed.
Yeah.
Like he actually has a good heart. Like he doesn't want this to get out. It's very flipped on its head in terms of what
the only thing that I can't get is like why he would be so gung ho to experiment on Trish.
Well, she made him. That was her storyline.
That part there is it seemed a little out of character for the guy.
Yeah, I feel like
I think he's more comfortable, more careful with his.
I think that they tried. That's what they did. They painted him as this gentle, like dude who's like not really that guilty.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, at the end, with Trish, he's like all on board to try and paint him as being like obsessed with making people super.
Right.
And I just didn't buy that.
I agree with that.
I mean, I think it's the thing where the guy has the formula and he was like, I've perfected it. I still kind of want to try it on someone. I think I can, create.
Yeah, that's the way
person.
they explain it, is that she wanted it, but I just don't see him like he was doing it to save people.
Didn't she have him at
Trish didn't need saving.
Didn't she force him?
I mean, she had a gun to his head, but I'd imagine his character at that point would be like, okay, shoot me.
Yeah. That's what I would think too. Like he'd be like, "I'm done with this. This has brought nothing but me trying to help people has brought nothing but pain to my life. I don't think it's going to be helping you is going to do anything but make me even more miserable."
I think that actually makes the story even stronger. If Trish shoots him, you can still have the mom being pissed off at Trish for being responsible for killing the husband or the guy. It's now, instead of it being the guy lighting himself on fire after experimenting on Trish, he just made a decision on his own to have his life ended because he wasn't going to give in to this urge.
Now, what do you think of like the Trish character arc? Like that, did you accept that right off the bat?
Well, let me get into I think the overall theme of the show, and then we can tackle that.
Yeah.
I
think it has something to do with it.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I think, in my opinion, the overall theme, and Malcolm says it at some point during the show to Trish, he goes, we can't stop. We can't keep using each other to fill the voids in our life. And I think the whole overall theme is that all these people, Jessica, Malcolm, Trish, the mom, Jerry, are all users. They're all addicts. They're all addicted to things. And instead of confronting what is really bothering them, they just use either drugs or they use other people to solve these problems or mask these problems. So it's a cycle where these people are always using one another and never actually getting to the root of what's really causing them issues. So I think for like Trish, she is quite unhappy because in her life she's been told who she's supposed to be and she's never had any control, never had any power over her life. And then she meets Jessica, who is super powerful, and she idolizes that, and she thinks this person who's super powerful should be doing more with that power, and instead is not doing shit because Jessica's fucked up, and so on and so forth. And I can get into all of that if you want. But
and Jessica never asked for powers, and therein Trisha's like, man, if I had these powers, I would do some good. But I love how this show is so smart about addiction. It's the cycles. It's instead of treating the root cause, they just replace their addictions with something else. You see Malcolm's on Tinder, sleeping with anything in a 10-block radius.
Yeah, Malcolm is an addict too, but he's sleeping with girls and he's keeping himself busy, but he's not really addressing the fact that he's a fucking user.
Trish getting addicted to Nuke's inhaler. She used to have a drug problem.
Right.
And that's just
she's addicted to power.
She's addicted to power and control.
And being a superhero.
Yeah.
So, like, is the key here is, like, if you're addicted to something and you're an addict, is the key to try and turn that, because you can't turn off an addiction or addictive personality, is the key to, like, get addicted to stuff that's positive?
Well, that's one way. That's one way to get out of it.
The one way, I think that's the way Malcolm deals with it.
Sort of, until the end. And then he gives in again.
Every
right, but I think it's not only finding addiction to something positive, but addressing the fact
why
why and the root of that cause.
Why is Jerry Hogarth hiring hookers to have a sex party? That was unexpected. I like that scene.
She just got diagnosed with ALS and she's dying.
Yes.
Well, she's just like, fuck it.
She's lived a life of using other people to her own benefit, and then at that point she realizes she's dead.
At her most vulnerable.
So she uses even more.
I think that Jerry is like one of the most calculated beings on the planet.
Right.
So like to now not be calculated and to just let fucking caution to the wind, it blew up in her
control.
face.
Right. A lot of the control about addiction, about mommy issues.
She couldn't control her disease.
Yeah.
So it spiraled out of control for her.
Yeah.
Where she was now latching on to irrational things. Yeah.
This show is pretty deep. Like, it really is. Like, when we're sitting here talking about it, we're like, we're really getting into some deep shit.
Yeah.
So it really, I mean, maybe there's more to it than we even think.
That's the point I brought up, I think, to Imran.
Yeah.
Right after. I was like, I think there's a little more here than...
There is. There definitely is. Because as you were saying things about how Jessica and the mom kept changing their mind, flipping their things, think about Jessica's position. I actually loved how I kind of grew to love Allison, the mom's character. Alyssa, sorry. A lot.
Alias spelled differently.
Oh, shit. Look at that. Well, I like... Oh, wait. I like how we learned where the alias name came from. Her boyfriend. And then her mom fucking kills her first boyfriend. What'd you think of that flashback episode, by the way, with I Want Your Cray Cray? And seeing them in college.
I didn't like that her mom killed her boyfriend. I think it's very like contrived.
A little contrived.
But whatever. Like I'm cool with it, I guess.
But look, Jessica went.
I read somewhere that her killing her boyfriend was a nice. It was basically a foreshadowing for her becoming mentally weak enough for Kilgrave to take over her.
Oh,
I can buy that.
It put her in that state of mental weakness.
Fragile.
Yeah, fragile.
I can buy that, but I still think it's contrived.
Yeah, I would agree.
Look, I think Janet McTeer, the girl who played Alyssa, she nails this role. Like from the piano
Did you like
smashing.
Her? Were you on board with her?
Not in the beginning, but I grew to really like
it was rough at first.
Yeah, I thought she was rough around the edges at first.
Like the piano smashing, you're like,
not
what
as
the
a character.
Fuck? Yeah,
I'm saying the acting. I thought was a little
okay.
But then by the end, I was like, okay, I could see what she's going for.
You have to kind of get used to her as being that character.
Yes.
And then once you kind of accept that character, then you can go forward.
So is it correct, Jessica? She looks completely different, right? Her face is a different face than Jessica remembers as her mom.
Right. She's not her. That's not her face
But
anymore.
that's her. So I really love the conflict. Jessica goes from like wanting to kill her to being really conflicted. Do I turn her in? Do I help her? And then kind of enjoying that she has a mom, to where they're teaming up on a road trip. They save the people from the car crash. I thought it was awesome. And you see how she's kind of trapped, and she doesn't have a lot of options. She doesn't know what to do. And this is why I think they go back and forth with these decisions. This season, it's a very gray area. Like there isn't a good guy or bad guy for real
drug
life.
addiction in your family. And you have this, you have that relative that's
and patterns of abuse cycles that you learn and pass down.
Yeah, right. But you have, exactly. There's that pattern of abuse that gets passed down, but then you see the good moments.
Right.
Like with Jessica, she sees her mom save someone. She's like, she's, you know what, that's my mom, and she's redeemable. And then and you latch onto those good moments and you ignore all the bad stuff that, this addict, her mom being that addict, is imposing.
I still think that if you build up a character to be one way and then all of a sudden they're all over the place, it's inconsistent writing.
You're talking about Jessica being all over?
Yeah. I feel like that they should have built her to be a little bit more like kind of like not knowing what she wants to do.
But that's what I felt how she was. Like she didn't know what she wanted to do.
I feel like that towards the beginning, the first few episodes, like especially before, even when they revealed that it was her mother, like she was like completely different than like 2 episodes later. Then and that happened in like a split second. So I just thought it was kind of like a little bit inconsistent or convenient for her to change her mind like that.
Well, I would argue that she's seen her. That's the first time she's seeing her mother, a dead mother, in 17 years.
That's pretty shocking.
And her arc is being
in the 2 shows before, she jumped out the window with somebody and killed them.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like, for me, if I was Jessica Jones and being the pessimist that she is,
right,
I would never think there was anything redeemable about my mother, even if she saved somebody that moment.
But it's your
mother.
mom. It's your mom at the same time. Like, even though she looks
think it's
different,
like the analogy for like drug, like the relative that falls off the wagon, and you're like, this person really needs to go to rehab, and go away for a while, and then you're like, but I don't want to see them go away.
Well, that's I would expect that from someone who like believes in Jesus or something, but not like Jessica Jones, who's like the most pessimistic person ever.
Well, but she's pessimistic because she lost her parents.
Yeah.
I don't think she was that person. At least that's the vibe I got until that accident happened. And then now that
I feel like that would only
back,
happen in a moment of real weakness.
Yeah.
And I don't think really that really was achieved.
Well, also, I mean, Jessica's not exactly, even though she's consistently this sarcastic person, she's not exactly got her shit together either. She's drinking all the time.
Right.
She's
untethered.
Yeah.
She doesn't want to get close to anybody.
So you think that she's not in control of even her own decisions?
I think everybody is fucked up, and the ending with her going to the family is her finally recognizing her issues and confronting them to end the show. Whereas everyone else is falling off the wagon, she's the one to finally come around.
I thought that was a very interesting ending, because you would think it would be a bleak, dark ending, and you're right. Everyone else is kind of succumbed, or
it's a kind of, if you're not looking at it like that, it's kind of a ho-hum ending. Like, what?
But it's like you see the start of a slow, hopeful recovery, possibly.
Let's talk about the family, which is the new super.
Yes, there's a new super. And his crazy mom. There's a lot of crazy moms in this show. If you think about it, all the mom relationships, the theme comes up and up again. This guy, what was he? Was he kind of like her anchor to be normal, to forgive herself?
That he's like, he's not really a knight in shining armor, because he's also like kind of a little bit dirty in his own way. Like he's like making fake IDs and shit.
Right.
And he's in trouble with the cops, and he's trying to lay low, and he's trying to just like not be bothered by the cops.
He represents something Jessica could have, which is like a relationship or something different.
So she's not like seeing him as some kind of like holier than thou person.
No.
She's seeing him as, okay, they're both kind of fucked up, but like there's a real goodness in him that you could see that's evident. So she's attracted to that.
I see him as like a halfway house. Like he's not prison, but he's not the white picket fence either.
He's recovery.
Right. He's recovery.
He's the therapy house. Yes.
You know?
He's like in the
but
middle.
He can also enable her to do bad things. But he can also enable her to do good things. Like she's kind of excited by that.
Those illustrations done by David Mack, I think. The artist
Yes,
David
absolutely.
Mack. Yeah, it was a very good illustrations.
The painting was that creepy? Like I heard
I thought the painting was a little creepy.
You know what? I don't think it's that creepy. Like that's what artists do. Like they wake up early and like I need a model. I'm just gonna draw her. She's sleeping. What's the problem?
I'm not an artist, so I don't know.
I mean, it could be creepy, but I think that it's
very touching and intriguing.
That's up to debate.
I didn't think it was that that creepy, but that's funny. What about? Okay, let's get into what didn't work for us. I still think it's too fucking long, Marvel and Netflix.
I would agree.
You could do this in 10 episodes or less.
Do you wish Jessica killed her mom?
Yes. The whole time I thought Jessica was going to kill her mom. I was like, she is your responsibility. But
Trish killed her mom.
But Trish ends up showing up like Punisher. So a lot of the issues come from fucking
Why would
Trish.
Trish want to kill her mom?
I don't know. That's what I don't get. And she showed up at the
she knows that's gonna fuck up her relationship with Jessica.
The scene before she was in the hospital, she shows up very quickly at the Ferris wheel, knows where she is.
Some of my friends asked this also, and I this was the response I gave them is, I read it as Trish kills her mom because Trish at this point thinks she's the hero in the story.
Right. She thinks she's the bad guy.
Jessica Jones is so clouded by the fact that it's her mom that
she can't see
she will kill her mom, and Jessica will then realize maybe soon after the fact that, oh yeah, you are right, you are the hero. Like I think
she's
that's what they were going
deluded
for.
by that drug and the power.
That's a delusional way of thinking.
It's very delusional.
How dumb? I don't know.
Well, I think she's also an addict.
Yeah,
she's addicted to. I mean, she's also fucked up.
I don't know. I feel like that she's very intelligent, and she would know that, but I don't know.
Well, she wants to. She is intelligent, but she also throughout the show it's emphasized as wanting to be a hero. And if you're a hero, then you see this
Heroes
lady
don't kill people.
Well, she saw the last season. She was like, Jessica killed
Kilgrave, and now she's
this is necessary.
Okay, all right.
I think it's one of those situations where Trish overthought it.
I have to like force myself to go along with that thing, but I can't.
I mean, it is a little bit. It's a little bit of a stretch, but I think Trish basically sees Jessica's mom as another Kilgrave and is like, this person, this person has to be put down.
I mean, to be honest with her mother, really is just a ticking time bomb.
Right.
Yeah.
And she should have been dead a long time ago.
Jessica should have done it. Yeah. Should have been her. Now, look, initially when I watched this, I had a huge problem with Jerry Hogarth's whole storyline. I was like,
really? That was my favorite part of the whole season.
Let me finish. I was like, what the fuck? This had nothing to do with anything. She's still dying at the end. She still has ALS. I felt like there was no growth. But when I got to think about it, I like the thematic parallels. And she's a great performer. And actually, the more I thought about it, everything in the show that bothers me all comes from Trish's storyline and involvement. And I hate Trish's storyline more than I hate Hogarth's because it kind of comes out of nowhere that she wants to be a superhero, that she's all of a sudden jealous.
Yeah, I really don't. I felt like that was a little
organic.
Forced.
Yeah, it was very forced. And then
this is a new thing for this season. It seemed like
it is. And then at the very end, they give us the thing with the powers. I wish they could have done that earlier.
Yeah, and the whole Chen thing was like also like
what
really
the hell
confusing.
Was that? Yeah,
Price Chang.
He's in the beginning. He disappears, and then he just shows up shooting at him in the window.
He's just a convenient asshole to like pepper in throughout the series.
Did you think Kilgrave was wasted? Or was that just enough?
I mean,
the right time.
I think it was one of those things that was conveniently like one episode long. Like if it was happening throughout the series, it would have been better.
You know what? I think he would have overshadowed the fucking.
Yeah, I think they didn't want it. I don't think they wanted this to be the Kilgrave season.
Yeah, it's like her weakest moment, I guess. That Kilgrave kind of like seeps back into her mind.
God, in that episode, you forget how good he is. Like when he shows up, he is so fucking good.
But he's good because the character is good. The character is a great idea.
Yeah.
A guy who could just control anyone and who knows people, who knows like the darkness of people. Like that's the great thing about Kilgrave. Dave Tennant is great too, but like just that character in itself, that power that imbues you, like where you could just tell someone, go fucking kill yourself, and you do it.
That's a crazy power.
We forgot to talk about, speaking of killing, Jessica murders a guy.
Yeah, she kills the prison
does.
guard.
And then fucking covers it up.
That was in that episode. Yeah,
It's fucking dark.
Hopefully, yeah, it is real fucking dark. Hopefully, that's not something they tackle next season because
something that comes up to bite her in the ass.
She covers that shit up. I mean, it was like another one of those things where she it
was an accident. I thought the killing was organic.
It's equivalent to like drinking and driving.
Yeah.
You know,
she doesn't know how strong she was, and he freaked
You ever
her
like
out.
hit a parked car and just drive away?
yeah, like
That's what Jessica
maybe.
Jones did, basically.
Occasionally, except she threw the parked car off the roof of the garage.
She hit a parked car with someone in it
Yeah.
and drove away.
And then
she fucked that dude up and then threw him off a
then
roof.
threw him off
a
the
roof.
building. But to be honest, that guy was a monster. He
Yeah,
was
he
a
was a
little
dick.
bit of a monster to her mom, and this was the beginning of her taking
he
care
is
of her
a
mom.
monster, but she is also she commits
Equally.
murder by accident, but then the cover up is the evil part.
Yeah.
Well, and that's when Kilgrave is in her head, and she's starting to slip. I love seeing him, but like I thought it was weird. For just
You
the one
brought
episode.
up Jerry real quick. There's two
Yeah,
comments.
let's get back to Hogarth.
Jerry's whole thing, I think, was great too because she's spiraling because of ALS, and then by the end of it, she is back to being Jerry Hogarth, who is a motherfucking conniving, evil son of a bitch who uses people.
But she still has ALS. She's still dying.
But that's not the point. The point is she has learned
That
from
regardless,
Yeah.
if
Even
she's
with
dying,
the ALS.
she is one of those people that is so calculated and so in control.
Yeah.
That when she loses control and just takes a risk.
Yeah.
On this fucking homeless chick,
And the healer.
it blows up
Bites
in her
her ass.
vagina like
Yep,
a fucking
Yep.
Cannonball.
Yep.
it basically it snaps her back into her senses of wait a minute, that's not me.
Yeah, I'm Jerry
a
fucking
motherfucker.
Hogarth.
He's
Yeah.
like, I can't afford to be fucking. Even if I'm dying, I can't afford to be stupid
Or desperate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that too. I like
came
that.
around on her storyline. I didn't at first. I was like, "What's the point of this
I
whole
think
thing?"
that she was one of the strongest things on the show.
But the more I thought about it, the more I did appreciate what they did with her.
Like
'Cause-
for me, like the weakest part of the show was Trish,
I would agree with that.
and for me,
Yes.
the strongest part of the show was like Jessica and her mother, possibly like having a mother-daughter relationship. And
fucked up
then
mother-daughter
Jerry,
relationship
and
is
then
great,
Jerry.
yeah.
Those are
agree.
Malcolm. I feel like that he got a fair shake in this, and
I
like
liked Malcolm.
he ends up being an evil. He ends up being an evil dude at the end.
He
Yeah.
is.
yeah,
Yeah,
he's,
he ends up being a bad guy.
He's working for
You
Chang.
guys notice they're like, what kind of work? And she's like, I wouldn't have called you guys. And he was like, he smiles. He's like, we're in. Like,
Yeah.
I'm ready to do some dirty
He's
shit.
willing to do some dirty work, but the whole season,
He just wants to keep himself busy.
yeah. Otherwise,
But,
he'll
but he
lapse.
doesn't mind doing like as long as it's he doesn't care.
He's
He'll do
already
whatever.
doing all kinds of nonsense.
I mean, he's going into gay clubs and
Yeah. Oh yeah.
blackmailing people.
That was great. He's doing the fucking hardcore lawyering.
So, what do you think the deal is with Trish?
She's gonna be Hellcat. Are they setting her up to be the villain next
She's-
season?
that's
I don't
what I
like.
thought.
I, don't like
I was
that.
like, are they
I don't like
setting her up? I thought they were setting her up to be the villain of this
This
show.
yes,
and
yes.
that she would have powers and fight Jessica at the end.
And like, is she a reporter or is she like a fluff news talk show host? Like, what is she?
She was a fluff news talk show host
And
trying
then
to
she
be taken
quit.
seriously.
Oh,
I
that's right.
just
Then she
can't get
quit.
Patsy Walker's character. I just can't. I just don't. I don't get it.
She looks great in the Cray Cray video. I'll tell you that much. Damn,
I want your cray cray. How bad is that song?
it was very bad. But
That was the only lyric, I think. I
yeah,
want your
that's
cray
all
cray.
she kept singing over and over again. There was no other words.
I mean, on paper, her being controlled all her life as a child,
Right.
child actress, porn star. Wow, but basically used. I mean, she was
Yeah.
abused by her director.
Yeah.
So I can see like
She's
the
getting pimped
parallel,
out.
but
That's right.
I do
That's right.
agree that her character is written in a way that's either doesn't
Like,
make
if you
sense
remember
or is not
last
likable.
season, it doesn't really compute as much. If you compare the two,
I mean, she had more to do this season, but I don't like the way.
I feel like they just kind of lit an about face with her.
Like, I feel like they wasted Nuke too, like killing him right away in the second episode.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck?
What did you want Nuke? I mean,
I don't know. He could have been.
what
He could have been.
did
He
you-
could have
what
been.
was left for Nuke to do?
I don't know. Or maybe I just wanted more powered people, which they really didn't.
But that's
give
not
us.
the
They
show.
te-
I mean,
it's not.
it's
wasn't.
really not.
No, it's not. It's not an action show.
No.
It's not. It was an emotional, suspenseful thriller this season.
It's about addiction and
I mean,
and
Yeah.
users.
I did enjoy it a lot. So it's like I'm thankful that I watched it. I'm very dubious on certain things that happened.
Okay, look, let's rank it out of all the Marvel Netflix's series and
Jesus
shows.
Christ.
Who wants to go first?
Rank it.
Look, I'll go first by saying I think Daredevil's both seasons of Jessica Jones, these are the top 4 seasons of everything they've given us so far.
I will go with that.
Yeah, of course.
Now, what order? It's very hard. It's very close.
I don't know. Like the first season of Daredevil, the first season of Jessica Jones are top 2 for me.
Yeah, those are the top 2.
And then I would put Jessica Jones and Daredevil, maybe Daredevil 2.
Those are hard, man.
It's very hard, but it's very
like
close.
a toss-up between the two of them.
I would agree. Like, it's a toss-up because this one, obviously, like, we're having deeper discussion now than we ever did during Daredevil season 2.
That's true.
But Daredevil season 2 has fucking Bernthal killing it.
Punisher. Yes.
Yeah, like you have like Daredevil season 2 has got the Punisher. It's got great action.
Yep.
It's got like that romance between Elektra, and it's very cool. But like,
does the Punisher come anywhere near this?
As a theatrical event, I think Daredevil 2 gets the edge.
Yeah.
From a dramatic standpoint and like
Jessica
a complexity
Jones.
standpoint, Jessica Jones
like
edges it out.
I like
Actually, you're right. Imran, Punisher's in there too. Honestly, I can't tell you where it's at.
Punisher is in there somewhere, and I'm not
those
sure
are
where.
the 5 best.
Yes, they are. Absolutely. And then I
But
think
1 and 2 is Rugboy's right. 1 and 2, you take them however you want. It's just preference. Daredevil 1 or Jessica Jones 1.
Yeah. And then Luke Cage for me would be the next one.
Why do you think that the quality dropped so much after that?
I don't know. I think it's the character though. Largely, I don't know.
It's like, do you think they were swinging for the fences the first thing out, and then they just blew their load and they couldn't figure out how to do it again?
Well, I think Luke Cage is kind of a difficult character because he's invincible.
Right.
And they were like, well, how do we do this? And they had something going for like the first 6 episodes, but then they were like, well, we need a physical threat to him. So we're like, well, make it his brother. So like that, but like that kind of dropped the ball. And then Iron Fist was just, we went over that, but it was a lot of wrong decisions.
Yes, they just did not get
There's
that
so many
character
things
right.
you can do to Luke Cage just because he's bulletproof. You can lock him up. You could imprison him.
Well, I'm
You
hoping
can
the
do a lot
second
of things.
season, that's the next thing we're going to get. June 22nd, Luke Cage season 2. I hope this increase in quality continues that season because, yes, Jessica Jones season 2, the quality went back up. So I was very happy. And, Defenders, maybe you don't need another season of Defenders. I would be okay.
It's just so disappointing that Defenders was just dog shit.
That was such a bust.
It was supposed to be like this great, grandiose thing, and it was just fucking...
I think, look, Netflix, you stick to these
like Jessica Jones
character
season
series.
2
Yeah.
is like 50 times better than...
I mean, it was. The show was still very compelling. The themes, the things that made you think about.
And Defenders had more action and everything. So,
it doesn't
like
solve
if you
it.
get,
Yeah, it doesn't.
If your writing sucks donkey dick, like that's what happens.
Well directed. Good stuff. Look, before we take a break, Anthony, you forwarded a review for Jessica Jones season 2. The title, Lady Bird, but with punching. I love that title. Written by none other than former Birth Movies Death writer Devin Faraci.
Devin Faraci.
Guess who's back, motherfuckers? Devin Faraci's back running a website called Cinema Sangha.
The Me Too movement did not destroy him.
It really goes to show that time heals everything or makes people forget.
I don't know if
it
it's
all.
healing anything. I think it's just he's got his own blog.
You forget about it.
Yeah, he just ponied up the money for his own blog.
I just want you to know too, he wants you to know, especially that at the bottom of his blog is Support RAIN, which stands for Rape, Abuse, and Incest National Network. It's the biggest anti-sexual violence organization in the U.S.
Can I just read what he's been doing here? It says on his About page. I'll put a link to this review in the show notes, listener. It's actually a really good review. He wrote a great review.
His writing has never been in question.
No, the writing wasn't the problem. Here's what he says. I'm Devin Faraci, and I was a film critic and pop culture commentator for a decade before I hit bottom in 2016 when a woman accused me of groping her in 2003. Losing everything I once held as important, I discovered a new way of living, aided by 12-step recovery and the Theravada Buddhism. Walking this new path, I have seen the spiritual concepts that can lead to more happiness, and a better world can be found not just in dusty old text and in church basements, but also in movies, comics, and TV shows. So He's working to make amends to people, he said. He's trying to get spiritual.
Devin, you did stupid shit once. All right? Just don't do it anymore.
Yes.
All right? Learn your lesson.
Just don't do it again.
Don't fucking tell me about your Zen Buddhism. Just say, look, I did something
Buddhist.
dumb, and I know it's dumb, and I'm not going to do it anymore. That's all.
That's pretty much all
Don't
you got to
fucking
do.
give me this fucking Zen Buddhist shit. Like, it doesn't matter. Just don't do it.
Yeah.
Just like, when you're a little kid, you like stick your finger in your diaper, you taste your shit. You're like, okay, don't do it again.
All right.
You're not gonna.
Damn. That bacon is so serious, boy.
Don't do that again, Devin. He's in this PBS piece called #MeToo Now What? That's streaming. He's talking with his accuser I did not watch
Oh my
this. That's
God,
amazing.
he's really going for it.
He fucking did a PBS piece.
Jesus.
But his website, Cinema Sangha, he's writing reviews. Link in the show notes. Check it out if I don't know if you want. He's always been a good writer.
Just go to jail.
Just go to jail. Blog from prison.
Yeah, just go to jail for a month or a couple. I don't know, whatever long.
San Quentin movie reviews.
What does he do? He like grabs some girl's
groped
vagina
some
or
girl.
something.
He groped the girl.
He groped a girl and doesn't remember doing it.
Can't you just go to jail for like a month?
Maybe like a day, like 2 days.
A
week?
Like, what's groping? Like, what is that? Like I would say like
6 weeks.
Like 3 weeks. Like groping, like you learn your lesson in 3 weeks.
You
Right?
lose a finger.
Maybe they just kick you in the balls every day for 3 weeks.
That's fair.
The girl gets to do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a fair punishment. All right, look, we're going to take a break. I'm going to play some promos, and we'll be back with some geek news and a little 3-year celebration talk.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
I'm Jason.
I'm Jeff.
And I'm Blake from the History of Bad Ideas. And we'll get back to your regularly scheduled program here in just a second, geek listeners. But we do a weekly podcast called The History of Bad Ideas.
Yeah, where we'll discuss things like television or movies or music or games or any other thing that falls into our geek-related podcast knowledge.
You can find us on Geek Life Radio, Fridays, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Central, or Radio-Blitz, Saturday, 9 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Central, or you can listen to us whenever the hell you want on iTunes and Stitcher.
Check us out. Roger says goodbye.
Goodbye.
Do you like superheroes? Do you like movies, television shows, and comic books? Do you like listening to a guy rant about these things for hours on end? Well, then you're in luck, because you need to check out Podcapers, the official podcast of A Place to Hang Your Cape. Featuring me, Scott James Merridew, we'll be talking about a variety of geek and nerdy issues, joined each week by a rotating panel of guests that will try to contain me. Jokes on them, I cannot be contained. So please join us on Podcapers, the official podcast of A Place to Hang Your Cape, where superheroes go to relax, but I never do. Cue the music!
Hey, what's up? It's Taylor Gray, the voice of Ezra Bridger on Star Wars Rebels, and you're listening to the Jock and Nerd Podcast.
Jock and Nerd.
Hey, listener, do you love this show? Does this show get you pumped?
I'm pumped.
Yeah, me too.
If you love the show and want more show, you should definitely join the Jock and Nerd fan club that you can find at jockandnerd.com/Patreon, where you can pledge for a monthly donation to help us keep the lights on over here, and you get bonus content, extra audio, and exclusive podcast feed just for you. This is the first show of the new month, guys, so we got to thank all our patrons by name. I want Ruggs. How drunk are you now? We're gonna play a word association.
I don't know if
game.
I can read.
Okay, no, you don't have to read. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna say a name, and then I want one of you. I'll start with Ruggs to just say the first word that comes to mind.
All right.
Okay, we'll go back and forth, starting with Rugboy. Name, give me a word, and here we go, Ruggs. Mark Bunong.
Oh, Jesus. Boomerang.
Philip Milan.
Italy.
A place to hang your cape.
iTube, iPod mixes.
iTube.
Matt Delhauer.
Nerd Hauer.
Steve Morrison.
Van Morrison.
Joe from work.
Smoking.
Stephen Tran.
Vestite.
Jimmy Graven.
Groping.
Wait, Stephen Transvestite. Hold on. That was very good. Okay, Ruggs. Anthony Apodaca.
Alpacas?
Lisa Morrison.
Jim Morrison.
Jess Rivera.
Dude.
Chaz Hubbard.
Like rock star.
Gabriel Bosco.
Chocolate milk.
Adam Morris.
There's too many fucking Morrises.
Matthew Lawrence.
Whoa.
Wes Cranford.
Wes Craven.
Travis Holton.
My penis.
John McGott.
Maggot.
Jimmy McPike.
Damn it.
Quicker.
Pike.
David Zika.
David Zika. Oh, the virus.
Ron Hans.
Ron Howard.
Blazing Caribou Studios.
Coffee.
Blake Braden. Ruggs, Blake Braden to you.
Braden my ball sack.
Steve Lee.
Bruce Lee.
Bonner Demling.
Oh. Boner Demling.
Joe Henry.
Those O. Henry bars.
John Seifert.
Oh. Seafart.
Dope Pope.
The Vatican.
And Brett Zofka.
Karate Kid.
Yay! Thank you to all of those patrons. And if you want to really throw off the Jock and Rugboy, sign up for Patreon and we'll add your name to this list.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Mick Pike is the one that killed me right
Stephen Transvestite. I think that one wins. That one takes the cake.
Transvestite? That's a good one.
Also, the
Steven, I know you listen to the show every week. You'll appreciate that.
That was a great word association.
Yeah.
Plus, I have to mention the John Seifert Patreon Listener Challenge is in effect all month of April. Here's the deal. John Seifert has said if by the end of April we can increase our collective donated amount by $100,
make it $200.
He will double his support from $20 a month to $40 a month.
Nice.
You know why you guys should donate, though?
Yeah.
Because we're providing you with Stitcher.com/premium. And if you go on to Stitcher.com/premium and hit nerd, you're going to get a free month of that shit.
So you take that $5 you would have paid for that month and you
Right.
support us on Patreon.
Boom.
And then everybody
Easy
wins.
enough.
You get
We're
bonus
giving you
content.
shit. You give us shit.
Value for value, people. It's entertainment. This is how it works.
Quid pro quo, Clarice.
Look, we get 20 people to give $5. We will get there by the end of April.
Or we get one asshole to give us $100.
That would also be great. John Seifert, this is a very hard challenge, but we are up to it. The listeners up to it. Let's get it done. Okay, let's get to the news. MCU news, big news this week. Captain Marvel casting and synopsis came out. And holy shit, guess who's going to be in Captain Marvel, the movie that takes place in the 90s?
Ronan the Barbarian?
Ronan the Barbarian. Lee Pace is Ronan the Accuser. Korath the Pursuer, played
Who's
by...
Korath? Do I know who that is?
He was in Guardians of the Galaxy also. Jimon Hansu.
Oh.
And the holy shit of all of them, Clark Gregg as Phil Coulson back in an MCU movie.
Oh, shit.
Even though
Wait a minute.
Before he died.
This doesn't compute. How do they see superheroes before the Avengers?
Well, we'll find
they
out.
They do, because Fury is the man at the end of Iron Man that says you're a part of a whole new world yet. You just don't know it.
This is going to be the story of Nick Fury discovering the fact that there's heroes out there and meeting Captain Marvel. And will we get a de-aged Clark Gregg and Sam Jackson?
Oh, yeah.
You think they're going to do that?
What's the hair situation with both of these guys?
I don't know. They're going to have to add some hair.
I think
Jackson's bald and Coulson's balding.
Balding, yes.
Well, we're going to see here. Fro, like Coulson with like a Pearl Jam haircut. Like, what are we going to see here?
Well, Fury, which should have the
90s,
high top
right?
fade. Yeah, it was the 90s. So it will be like the Will Smith fade.
Like the Gumby fade that like goes up to the side.
And then Coulson just has long, scraggly grunge like Kurt Cobain hair.
Like maybe he has like a tied back, like long hair.
Man bun? Maybe there's a man bun involved?
Like that.
So, look, this is the movie where it starts the Kree Skrull War. Here's the synopsis. Like, it says, the story follows Carol Danvers as she becomes one of the universe's most powerful heroes when Earth is caught in the middle of a galactic war between two alien races.
Yeah, no one remembers this.
Set in the 90s, Captain Marvel is all new adventure from blah, 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 an unseen period in the history of MCU.
I'm excited.
Could this be, here's a fan theory why nobody remembers this. could this be an alternate timeline, an alternate universe?
Why does it need to be that?
Because nobody's ever mentioned.
Because what if it happens in space?
That's a good point. So then, do we think who's a Skrull? Is Coulson a Skrull? Is one of these motherfuckers a Skrull the whole time? That could happen.
Anything could happen. I like the Kree Skull War. I like that. I like seeing Ronan back.
I like butt chins.
I like butt chins
butt
too.
Chins and wrinkly faces.
Also the ultimate butt chins.
Yeah.
They have like 30 butts on their chin.
And so this is the other thing that confused me. They said they just started production. If that's the case, what were those green costume set photos we saw? Is that a post-credit scene from Infinity War?
I don't know.
I don't know about that. I think
they said production
It's
starting
something.
now.
I don't know. Maybe she goes through a suit transition. Maybe she switches shit.
I think
I can't even say suits.
They've been probably
Switches
filming her
suits.
stuff.
And then other people have said they've been filming in LA for a while.
Yeah,
also, which is weird why they were like, production begins today on
I think they're
Captain
saying that so that they can get off. People can get off the trail.
Oh,
I don't know.
possibly.
It looks like. I mean, she wouldn't be. You think she's just walking around in those suits?
Yeah. I don't know. She's walking around in that green suit. But you know what? This is very exciting to me. I love the addition. It's going to be great to see Coulson in an MCU movie, even though for 5 years now, nobody knows he's fucking still alive. Like, that's kind of hard to believe a little bit.
The Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. doesn't really exist.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't count. It doesn't connect. But fucking Ronan and Lee Pace
like
gets
it.
I love that because I feel like Ronan was a little bit shortchanged in Guardians of the Galaxy. He's a way meaner, bigger, more evil character than
And
what
he's a
they
great
showed us.
actor too.
Yes,
Lee Pace.
yeah.
He's not. Well, he's not. Ronan's not necessarily evil. He's a more nuanced character than he was
that's a good
portrayed in
point.
Guardians.
Yeah, that's true. He's more three-dimensional
Yeah.
than what they showed us.
I mean, he eventually becomes a kind of an anti-hero / hero in the comics.
I forgot about that.
Like Lee Pace is a very
Lee
good
Pace is
actor,
great,
and he
yeah.
can do lots of different dimensions. And they didn't use him at all in the Guardians of the
Did
Galaxy.
Korath die in Guardians also?
I believe he did too. Yeah.
He did, right? They were all standing around there. And everybody got
I like it. I like seeing the Kree Skrull.
Yeah, that's going to be fucking crazy because...
So this is going to be young Ronan.
It's gonna be younger Ronan. Yes.
Younger. Lil Ronan.
I don't- although how do Kree age? We don't know.
And who's a Skrull? They're shapeshifters. So anybody could be a fucking Skrull.
You're stuck on that, huh?
I love that. I can't wait. I can't wait to see what happens. That's very exciting. Here's some news about Ant-Man and the Wasp that's coming out in July. Reportedly undergoing reshoots. But even more than that, they said they are changing the whole opening. I guess from some screenings, that it was where is it here? From this Italian site, Bad Taste. They said the opening sequence is set in South America and it apparently didn't play well with test audiences.
We don't like South America.
We don't like the dirty South Americans over there.
Yes.
Put something else in and make it a quantum realm. And so I think they're changing the whole opening sequence to tie in to Captain Marvel maybe and the quantum realm. Anthony, I think your theory of like there's going to be like all the space shit in these movies and then Ant-Man and Captain Marvel will deal with the quantum realm and some other shit. And that'll be like that setting for those movies moving
People
forward.
they're gonna have to explain why Ant-Man's not potentially in Infinity War or when this is happening. So,
or is he in it? And we don't see it. So I don't know. We'll see if they. But it's like very late to be reshooting the whole and changing the whole opening. I find that interesting. Let's hope it doesn't fuck up the movie. Let's take a look at how much money Black Panther has made. Because it is now the highest grossing superhero movie of all time.
Gross.
In the United States, past the Avengers, domestic gross $637 million. Worldwide, $1.2 billion. Unbelievable. Number one MCU movie.
All-timer.
All time. It's crazy. It's crazy. And now Infinity War is going to come out and make another $2 billion. And then that's going to be, I bet it doesn't hold this spot for long. What do you think? Do you think Infinity War surpasses this domestic gross?
I don't know. Black Panther had no competition.
No. That's a good point. That was working for it.
Infinity War, you would think Infinity War should do just as good, if not better, because it's the culmination, but
right?
Something about Black Panther coming out the when it did and the movement behind
timing
it.
was right. They just nailed it. If Infinity
and
War
them nailing the film too. That's a big thing. Is Infinity War will probably make just as much, if not more, its opening weekend.
Yeah.
But the film has to be good.
Yeah.
If it's not good, it's not going to be like Black Panther.
It's not going to sustain.
Right.
5 weeks at #1, man. That's amazing.
I think people are excited about Infinity War. They've sold a lot of tickets already.
They have.
Yeah, I got mine.
People are already like making plans to see it. So I feel like it's going to at least be on the same level as Black Panther and might even surpass it. But I don't know. I don't know. This the cultural thing that drove this, the hype that drove Black Panther, is something I've never seen before. I don't think it's ever going to be repeated in the immediate future.
Mm-hmm.
Could we be seeing back-to-back billion-dollar movies?
Definitely.
Sure. Unbelievable. Wow.
But I don't know if it's going to surpass Black Panther.
Yeah, I don't think it.
That's crazy.
I don't know if it will.
Will it play better for it?
I hope it does, because I feel like it's going to be a much more epic movie, because the Russo brothers are just seasoned directors at this point.
Absolutely.
They've done 2 movies. Like, they've hit it out of the park in 2 movies. So, like, they're just swinging for, like, another third, do a trifecta. But, like, we'll see.
I'm hoping we are about to see some of the best fucking action we've seen in any MCU movie or any fucking superhero movie ever.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I'm expecting. Trying to keep my expectations at a medium level. But holy shit. Speaking of holy shit. Speaking of holy shit, what the fuck is going on at Fox?
Oh my God.
And the X-Men universe?
This is what happens when you have uncertainty.
Lots of uncertainty. I thought it sounds like if the movie doesn't have Wolverine or Deadpool, they don't know what to do with it, maybe. Here's what happened. This was news released late Monday night, which is an odd time to release a statement. Clearly, they didn't want anybody noticing that they have pushed back X-Men, Dark Phoenix, and the New Mutants. That's the second time New Mutants gets pushed back. X-Men Dark Phoenix was supposed to come out this year, November 2018. It's been moved to February 2019. The new start of blockbuster movies, thanks to Black Panther, I guess. Everyone's going to try to get theirs on the February.
Well, I mean, there's nothing wrong with trying to figure out a place to put your movie that's going to make the most money.
Right.
But I think that relating it to these reshoots is interesting.
Yeah, so there are reshoots on this movie, and I thought I read that it was screening well, but it may be the case of just normal reshoots and the fact that they have all these A-list people. You talk about Sophie Turner, Fassbender, McAvoy, all these people. Sophie Turner is shooting Game of Thrones through August. There's probably conflict in schedules, which is why they need to push everything back. And Jennifer Lawrence.
So you're talking about production is being halted?
Well, no. What was come out for at least for Dark Phoenix?
Or is it just release dates? I'm cloudy on this.
What they're saying is that they needed to do reshoots, but with such an A-list cast, they couldn't coordinate the schedules in time to make that November 2nd release date. So they decided to push it back.
Wow, that's real. Because it's something to do. I thought it was something to do with New Mutants and maybe the conflict of putting them out at the same time.
Yeah, no, the New Mutants is a little bit different story. The New Mutants, a movie which it has a trailer. We talked about the trailer. It was, when it was supposed to come out? In fucking April, next month, originally. Then it got moved to February 2019. They pushed it back 6 more fucking months to August 2nd, 2019.
This one is super disturbing.
This is weird because I kind of like that trailer. Apparently, they're reshooting half the movie. They may add a character or 2. But really, by the time these movies come out, here's another big cog in the wheel. The Disney-Fox deal may be done. Is it possible they want to save New Mutants for their streaming service? They're going to need shit to put on there to launch that big. I don't know. Do they not know what to do with these characters? Is Josh Boone not happy? Are they not happy with what Josh Boone gave him? Because I believe that movie's done.
It is done. Well, I read for this one that you're right about the reshoots and all that, but that they also... They Fox the execs up there are looking at Logan and how it was, like a Western kind of feel.
Yeah.
And Deadpool's this like comedy, and they're like, well, how do we make New Mutants
it's
stand
horror.
out?
We already went through this.
We want to make it horror, and we need to make it even scarier.
So they want to make it scarier.
So they want to reshoot the movie.
They pretty much want to remake the whole fucking movie and add more people.
I just like that they figured that out after they filmed it.
Yeah.
So we're only getting one mutant movie this year from Fox, and that is Deadpool. I was kind of excited for the New Mutants and Dark Phoenix. Both of these movies have Game of Thrones stars. You got Macy Williams, Arya Stark is a New
easier to make
Mutants.
this call when, like, you know you're going to have Marvel money rolling in soon.
Right. How much of this is like thinking about, like, if this deal goes through, they can do whatever.
It's also easy to just be like, you know what? We're selling this company. Let's make that their problem.
That's also that also smells like that. Like, they push this back. You guys can fix this movie. We don't know what to do.
There's a lot of speculation online that if and when Disney buys Fox, that they maybe not Dark Phoenix, but maybe the New Mutants movie will be just released on a streaming thing.
Well, they have their thing coming out in 2019 too, and they're gonna need some content.
I mean, the joke I saw online on Birth Movie's Death was, we'll be watching the Super Bowl, and you'll get an ad for New Mutants released after the Super Bowl, similar to Cloverfield Paradox. Yeah,
Jesus
where it was
Christ.
just dumped on Netflix.
Yikes. I think also part of this is the thing where these studios, Fox especially, they'll set a release date first, and then they'll be like, okay, now go make the movie. You were making this movie. And they've already, instead of working the other way around, like, hey, how much time do you think you're going to need to make this movie?
They also don't have a Kevin Feige who has a
don't have
plan
a guy,
for this.
and things happen like they happen at Warner Brothers. They just don't seem to know what to do with the property. With the
Listen,
IP.
it's a business. They got to get shit on track. They got to release stuff. They have to do this shit.
Somehow Marvel has announced movies.
They got to claim a date that's going to be kind of like their most opportune time to make money. It's all of these things that go into it. It's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we looked at the photo of them in their costumes 2 weeks ago, and I was like, oh, look, they're making this movie.
The movies are coming out.
Nope.
Oh, wait, they're not coming out.
Nope. You got to wait till 2019. Moving on, I thought this would start a pretty good conversation here. Steven Spielberg's comments from the Hollywood Reporter. Steven Spielberg thinks Netflix films should not qualify for an Oscar.
On what basis?
He says once you commit to a television format, you're a TV movie. Speaking of all movies that debut on streaming services.
What does that mean exactly?
So, look, guys, does he have a point, or is he like an old
he's
curmudgeonly?
full of shit. Because, like, a movie is just something that's 2 hours long.
Exactly.
That's it.
It's a long-form storytelling
And
format.
it's a one shot. Like, a TV series is obviously multiple, episodes. So what the fuck is he talking about? Like, what's the difference between going to see it in a theater or seeing it on your home theater, which is the same fucking thing?
You know what? His comments remind me of how I sound when I talk about how hip-hop sucks these days and old school hip-hop is
because
best. I just feel like he doesn't get it. It's a little old man curmudgeon.
No, because
it's like you got to make movies this way. That's the only way.
The movie's still a movie.
Not to him.
Like if you get a digital comic and you get a physical comic, they're both still comics.
They're both the same thing.
Like, I mean, do you think that a digital comic shouldn't get an award over a physical comic?
But does putting it on streaming television change the format of the experience? Is the experience the difference?
I'd have to read the article, but it sounds like...
No, that's pretty much all he says.
It sounds threatened.
Yeah, that's how I read it.
It's
like
a bunch
he has...
of, listen, I'm like an old school fucking old man that wants to be with the old people thinking all the time. But I can't get on board with this.
Instead of this, he should be like, what can I make for Netflix?
Maybe our listeners know, or maybe one of you guys know, are made. I mean, they're never nominated for it, but are made for TV movies not allowed to be nominated for Oscars?
They get Emmys. Actually,
made for TV movies are different. They have Netflix have no just like a regular movie. They don't have. They can do whatever content they want. They don't have to break for commercial. They don't have to do any kind of advertising.
Okay.
So it doesn't fuck with their format. It's still linear. It doesn't nothing interrupting it.
I see what you're saying.
A TV show has things that interrupt it for advertising.
It's an in-between format, and it's
a made-for-TV movie is also limited by budget and what they can do on the network. There's network standards and practices. Where a theater is, as long as you rate it properly, you do whatever you want.
Sure.
Shouldn't a movie that costs $90 million and stars Will Smith be up for an Oscar if it's good?
I got to watch that movie, but I heard that one's not good, so that might not be the best.
It's not going to get an Oscar. I'm not just saying.
I agree. Netflix, to me, I mean,
it's a weird gray area.
No, I don't see it being a gray area. It's a movie, right?
It's a movie. It's a Netflix movie. Yes.
Has anyone ever been like, that movie on Netflix isn't a movie?
No. So, but is that enough to make it eligible to be up for an Oscar? Part of me thinks, yeah. I think
it just reminds me of, of the old guys that don't like seeing that.
Let me just break some bad news to Steven Spielberg.
He's listening, by the way.
Okay, hold on. Wait, Rugs.
Here's the rundown. Any movie that I seen that's an Oscar contender is something I would never fucking go and pay $12 for, $15 for at a movie theater. Every movie that I've ever seen that's Oscar worthy, I've seen on my home theater. And that's it. So what the fuck's the difference, dude?
I mean, you're right. If you look at the best picture,
I'm not gonna go to the IMAX theater and plunk down to see the fucking Phantom Thread. It's not gonna happen. It's just not. I'm not gonna sit there and watch whatever the fuck his name talk about fucking sewing a dress for 3 hours.
Oh,
it's just not gonna happen.
Day-Lewis.
There's actually a lot of thoughts on the Oscars that the Oscars will need to start recognizing blockbusters because the ratings for the Oscars are getting lower and lower every year because they're picking obscure movies. Right.
No one's going to the theater to see these except for very few and far between people.
Yes.
Right.
Most of these people, the Academy, guess what they get to see them on? They get DVDs or Blu-rays delivered to them, and they're watching them on their home TV. So what the fuck's the difference?
How is that difference than Netflix? If you were streaming those movies, I mean, he has a movie production studio. Obviously, he's got a stake in this. But if he was smart, you break off. You start making movies for Netflix.
The brass tacks is that it takes a lot of fucking rigmarole to get your movie released in a theater.
Yeah, that's
you need
true.
A distribution company.
That's true. Distribution has gotten a little bit easier.
That's the only difference between Netflix and a theater distribution company. So you have to that takes a little bit. You have to have your movie in the theater for a few weeks to qualify to be in the Oscars.
Right.
Yeah.
So basically, he's like, well, if my movies have to go through this rigmarole to be released out in the theaters, even if it's in an artsy fartsy theater that no one goes to, for a couple of weeks, that if you just get the pass from Netflix, that you can just release whatever the fuck you want as long as you have a deal with them.
He's just crusty.
There basically is an obstacle that Netflix doesn't have to overcome, but the way he's saying it, that they're just TV shows, is not right.
You think it's more about the fact that he just doesn't think these guys are paying their dues?
Well, it's just another obstacle that if you're releasing it in the theater that you have to go through. So it's basically he feels like they're getting a shortcut.
Yeah.
I do feel like he thinks the dues thing is probably into play because things have changed. The barrier for entry to make a good movie have come way down.
Yeah, but a lot of these people who make these movies are seasoned people.
Yeah.
That have made real movies.
Yeah, and they just know how to adapt to the new technology.
They're just like, fuck it, I'm going on Netflix. It's getting a different kind of payday.
There's a lot of these exclusive deals. Netflix is throwing around money like there's no tomorrow. They don't give a fuck. They're like, we'll buy
investing
everybody.
shitloads of money. I mean, some of it's poorly invested, but
they don't seem to care. If anything gets you to just subscribe, they will throw it on there. Whether it's
you know
good or
what
bad.
this reminds me of? It reminds me of 1990s A&R. Like music company.
Oh, yeah.
Where they used to
I remember that.
Oh, the MP3 coming in. Yeah.
No MP3. Stop him, Ron. Wait till I say something.
What are you talking
about? All right. Back in the 90s, or when, in the kind of renaissance of music in the 90s, where basically A&R, people that were going out looking for talent, were investing in these bands, and they would make CDs for anyone. They would publish even unheard bands, hoping that they would find an audience. And that's what Netflix is doing. It's publishing all of these things that are unheard of and may not have an audience, but they're just putting it out there and seeing if there's an audience out there for it.
You can see what sticks.
Instead of what the new music that we're listening to is everything is tailor made to be a hit, written by all seasoned writers, matching talent to a song. There's basically their hit making. They're not taking any chances. It's so conservative what they're doing.
I believe every song these days is actually written by Taylor Swift. Every song.
No, there's 6 people who write 90% of the songs.
Dude, her new album sold 2 million copies, which hasn't been done in a long time, I guess.
Just do an experiment. Look up all your favorite pop stars.
Yeah.
Look at who wrote their songs. And I guarantee you it's the same people across the board.
They still write.
Maybe under 10 people that wrote those songs.
Michael Jackson didn't write his songs?
A lot of them, no.
No, I know that.
A lot of artists don't write their own songs.
No.
Yeah. It's weird.
It's a collaborative art. There's nothing wrong with that. It's one way to make music.
I just think that a lot more people wrote their own shit about 20 years ago. That's all.
Probably. All right, let's I have a little bit of comic book news here, which is rare for us, even though we are touted as a comic book podcast.
Are we?
I don't know. Announcements from both DC and Marvel. DC is unveiling something called a Black Label imprint.
Does it get you drunk when you read it?
Yes, it's the complimentary Doers Red label. Goes hand in hand. No, this to me, it's very exciting. It is a creator-led line featuring work by Frank Miller, Brian Azzarello, and the first major DC work by Kelly Sue DeConnick.
Oh, shit.
Frank Miller coming back to write a couple of books. One of them is called Superman Year One. Frank Miller with John Romita Jr. giving his Superman's origin story the Frank Miller treatment. And then they're doing things like there's one book called Batman Last Night on Earth from Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo. Basically, they're bringing back like the standalone prestige format storylines that
I was just going to summarize that it's basically they're letting these people do whatever they want because none of this is in canon.
All I heard was Harry Connick Jr.
Harry Connick Jr. is writing a story for DC. Now, these are out of continuity projects, kind of like back in the day, you had The Killing Joke and The Dark Knight Returns. That these things existed in their own thing. They're going back.
They're doing 90s shit again.
They're doing 90s shit again.
But there's room for this kind of stuff.
There is. I think it needs it because you don't have to follow a storyline.
Most people don't want to follow continuity.
No, just
the 20-year recycle. I love it.
Coming back again. Starts in August, but
there should be this stuff. There should be people. There should be non-canon stuff, and there should be the canon stuff.
Just give me like a 4-issue awesome badass series that's just like completely out of canon, crazy shit. And
honestly, the problem with comics is that all that stuff is actually written by individual writers, and then they have to like hodgepodge it together to make it all canon.
Yeah, because they feel
because it has to be canon.
It's got to be canon.
It's got to all relate somehow. So this writer could kill this character, but then 2 years later, this other writer can come on and be like, "Man, I really like Green Lantern. I want him back." So now you got to be like, "Oh, he was in a pocket dimension."
Okay, well now
all right.
bring him back.
And that cheapens comics, in my opinion.
Yeah. It's interesting that they're doing this now because they're doing Doomsday Clock, which is taking the characters of the Watchmen, which were never in canon, and now all those characters have changed the DC universe and they're in canon or something. I don't know. I heard it's very good, but it wasn't meant to happen.
Why'd they call it the Black Label?
I don't know. It's like it gives it a prestige.
Oh yeah, I guess the
kind of feeling.
Liquor.
Yeah.
So, it's the best kind of booze.
I didn't read the article, so I immediately thought, oh my God. They're chasing the Black Panther money already, and they're calling something Black Label.
You'll put black. Listen, title anything with black or flat Earth, and everyone will buy it and pay attention. That's all you have to do. It's a hot topic.
Okay, the Black Jock and Nerd Show.
The Black Jock and Nerd Flat Earth Podcast.
That would be T.J. Johnson and what's his face?
Oh yeah, and Jason.
No,
Dutch.
No, not Jason Dutch. T.J. Johnson and Mr. Do-Right. Yeah.
Oh, Do-Right.
He gets a shout out today, buddy.
Oh
we miss you.
Do-Right, we miss you.
What happened? We love Do-Right.
What happened to him?
You know what? I'm excited for some of these books. There's one called Batman Damned from Brian Azzarello, Lee Bermejo.
It's called Batman Damned?
Batman Damned.
Damned. Okay.
Basically, on a deserted Gotham bridge, a body is found. Whispers spread the news. Joker is dead. But is this a dream come true or a nightmare born? This Batman Last Night on Earth from Scott Snyder, Greg Capullo. Batman wakes up in a desert. He doesn't know what year it is or how the Joker's head is alive in a jar beside him. That's how that one starts. That's crazy. And then they're doing Wonder Woman Historia, the Amazons. This is from Kelly Sue DeConnick and Phil Jimenez. And it's the tale of the Amazons' rise to power before Wonder Woman.
Harry Connick Jr.
Harry Connick Jr. is writing. So it's a lot of these, like the Dark Knight Returns, like their own prehistory, their own pre-stories without having to worry about continuity. It's kind of cool.
So do you think that they'll backdoor adapt this shit if people like it?
They possibly might. They're going to...
I feel like that's what they did. That's like...
Yeah, Zack Snyder will shove it in somewhere.
Never supposed to be canon, but then now it is. Kind of.
And then the last announcement from Marvel... This one, Ruggs, you may love, you may hate. Guess what? Who's back? The Fantastic Four finally returned to comic books.
Oh, shit.
Written by Dan Slott and drawn by Sarah Pichelli, who is an amazing artist.
She is the best artist that could be on this book,
Slott
but
and
unfortunately,
Pichelli bringing back the Fantastic Four.
It's written by a shit fuck.
Any coincidence that the Fox is potentially being sold to Disney? And now
I don't know. That is
now they're
because,
like, oh, we can start writing these again.
Because we haven't seen the Fantastic Four since 2016, since after
Let
Secret
me
War.
see if I can predict what's going to happen to the Fantastic Four.
What does this mean?
Now, Dan Slott's going to write a series where there's a multiple verse of Fantastic Four like people. So there's like 20 things. There's a million Human Torches.
Everybody
there's
has
every
flame
kind
powers.
of invisible girls. And then everybody can stretch their penis
And then
really
the
far.
Thing and Dr. Doom's brains get swapped.
Yes, and Dr. Doom becomes the Thing.
And he doesn't know how to take a piss with his rock penis.
And
It's
then
very
one of the
confusing.
characters gets eliminated, so the book immediately becomes from Fantastic Four in issue number 1 to Triumvirate 3 in issue number 2.
Yes.
And then they
Anthony, you're perfectly right on this.
And then
You're right on
he
the money.
retcons the origin. Turns out there was a tiny Asian kid in the closet of the spaceship also that has the same powers.
Has all of them, actually.
Has all the powers combined. But you know what? Look,
And then Sue Storm becomes so angry at Mr. Fantastic that she decides to kill him.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
She eats him. Look, I'm sure there's a lot of Fantastic Four fans that are excited that they're
Get ready
coming
for
back.
bullshit, people.
But get ready for bullshit. However, Ruggs, him and Mike Aldred did the Silver Surfer book. It was very good. I like the
Whatever.
Silver Surfer book.
I automatically rebuke that in every single way.
I knew that would get a good response out of Drunk Ruggs the minute I said the Dan Slott word.
Am I drunk yet? Can you tell?
I don't know. Let's find out.
He's feeling good.
Move on. I don't know what this part of the show is, people. We've been doing this for 3 years.
It's a 3-year
Every week.
anniversary.
So I feel like this year we got a lot of new people that started listening this year.
Yeah.
Do we want to give them the origin story of the podcast? Is it even interesting
if you
anymore?
just keep it brief.
I'll tell it because
You do
Imran,
it. I
Imran
can't
never
keep it
can do
brief.
anything fucking
You tell
brief.
me to keep it brief.
Basically, me and Imran worked together. We found out when we both liked comic books or comic book
each
stuff.
other.
We liked each other. We went to the comic book store. We'd have discussions about shows and movies. We decided one day, hey, let's make a podcast. Imran went away for 2 weeks and came back with a show. Bada bing, bada boom. Imran knows Rugboy because Imran used to live on the streets of Brooklyn and ate salami sandwiches with him. And he stuck his hand up his ass and put him on the show.
Yeah, that's pretty
basically
much.
it.
That's pretty much.
That was
That's
3 years
pretty
ago.
concise. Yeah.
I like it. Look, hey, so I was trying to think of things. Maybe you guys can help me. Things that were different just 3 years ago in 2015. Life was a little different, everybody. Believe it or not.
Yeah.
3 years is a long time these days. Obama was president.
Yes.
Just, can you even remember a time when
Was this
Donald Trump...
2015?
Yes, I remember a time where people were asking him for his birth certificate, and now he's president.
This was a time where people were closeted racist in their own homes and didn't bring it outward. There was no MAGA hats. I can't even think of a time like this. This was a time there were no Marvel Netflix shows at all in 2015 when we started podcasting.
Right.
The only thing on TV that we were reviewing episode by episode was
Oh, God.
season 1 of The Flash. Season 1. We were in season 3 of Arrow.
No.
Season 2 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. when it actually started to get better. And then season 1 of Gotham. We were actually talking about
Which
Gotham.
made us give up on reviewing shows altogether.
But that was it. There was no Legends of Tomorrow. There was no Black Lightning. There was no fucking shitty
We
Inhumans.
did briefly talk about them, of course, in our show, but
Yeah,
we didn't do the weekly reviews.
It's
of every
exhausting,
show.
and not everyone listens. So we decided, you know what? We did a whole
Not everyone watches.
or watches, right?
The whole
we did
world
a,
listens to
retconned our
us.
show.
we
Yeah.
did a whole season.
We Dan slotted our show. and we
Dan slotted our
changed
show.
it.
This is pre-Avengers: Age of Ultron. In the MCU, there was only how many movies is that?
Yeah.
And we've reviewed every MCU movie since Avengers: Age of Ultron. We were reading comic books and talked about them 3 years
I think
ago.
all three of us were reading comics, and something happened where we just were like, "Fuck this medium."
It was the
They're fucking
constant
up.
rebooting and renumbering.
It's Dan Slott for me.
And Dan Slott. Remember we used to read comic books, Anthony? We talked about Avengers.
I remember, and at some point, I mean, obviously the rebooting, but I was like, why am I buying weekly comics? If I really want to read something, just wait for the trade. I forget about what happens a month later anyways.
That's the society. This is the binge society.
Once I saw, you want to know what happened to me is that once these Marvel movies started kicking into high gear, and all these DC movies started kicking into high gear, and were trying to do some world building, I'm like, why am I going to read the comics when they're building this whole new universe, and that the majority of the people are not going to even give a shit about the comics anymore?
Sure. That's what happened.
So it's like and then the second thing is that I've already read the best comics. There's not going to be any better comics than the shit that I read. I don't think so. I mean, maybe marginally better.
I heard
but
Dark Knight Metals is pretty good.
Well, I mean,
I want to check it out when it's
you look at it from the perspective of like Marvel, DC, not so well. Even DC, but both of them, whether it be TV shows or the cinematic universe. I mean, what's the point in reading comics? you have your weekly, you have your daily fill almost at this point.
I'm still reading books, but it's like just Spider-Man and then like some image lines, and if I
doing all this shit on
weird,
TV, they're flooding the market with it. So like, if it's easier for me to watch an hour TV show about a comic book character, then go to the store, buy a comic book. Now I have shit in my house.
And 3 years ago,
piling up,
there wasn't that much stuff, and like just in 3 years, like the bubble is just fucking cresting, and like it's oversaturation now in terms of comic book shit on TV.
They flooded the market so much that it's like you don't even need to read comics anymore. You just don't.
Clamor and Blab came and went.
Wow.
In the 3 years we've been podcasting.
Clamor, I don't even know why you thought I was going to be
you Clamor,
thing.
you brought her. No, that was
we got that saying out of it.
It was a good swing. It was a good idea, but
Blab I thought was going to catch on. Blab was like a real fucking deal, like video app.
Oh, we have Facebook live streaming now. It kind of killed
It's basically Twitch, but with four
Twitch,
people on
right?
it.
Yeah, I told you, Imran, I was a skeptic from the start.
Oh, which one? Both of them?
Blab. Well, Clamor, I couldn't be because we had the owner on the show.
We did. We had to.
So I had to suck his ass.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah,
a little bit. Blab, you were like, this shit ain't gonna last.
Yeah, I was like, what are we doing here?
The Cubs had not won a World Series yet.
No,
we started. Isn't that crazy?
What, the next point, can I read it?
Yes.
Because you typoed it, or maybe you didn't. It's supposed to say DCEU, but it looks like you have here DCFU.
Yeah,
only
the
had one
DC
movie.
Film Universe only had one movie.
I thought it was extended.
No, remember, that's not a real thing. Some writer made that up.
I thought you were going DC fuck you.
Well, it is. It's the fuck you universe.
Yeah, that's what it became.
Remember when it was just Man of Steel and it was kind of an okay movie, but still very divisive.
Like you had somewhere to go with Man of Steel.
There was still excitement and
like
potential.
You could grow the character and make him like a more, and they fucked it up.
We talked about this last episode, but when you look back, you will see how BVS fucking derailed everything. How that just single-handedly
it's true.
Fucked
it's 100% true.
Anything they could have done.
You really did.
Can
I just say something?
Yes.
Where are all those DC fans now?
That's a good point.
They used to always chime in and say things about how Marvel was not that great and DC, everyone's just a hater, and now they all just kind of ran away, huh?
Also,
we told you when Batman v Superman came out, this was garbage.
Like they saw Justice League and they felt a chapping in their balls.
We told you it was garbage.
Start getting chapped.
Dude, you know what else I felt 3 years ago? It was before kind of this really vitriol, excessive hate, two sides that really started with Batman versus Superman. That's when I was like, fandom is broken and angry at each other. And like, I've never seen it this way. When we started, everyone was still cool. Largely everyone was still cool.
Now, let me ask you a question. What's better movie, Justice League or Batman versus Superman?
Shit.
Justice League is not as offensive.
That's correct. Yes. It doesn't make you as angry.
I respect Batman v Superman more in just the fact that it sucks. It's terrible in my opinion, but it is.
There was an intent behind that.
Yeah, there's this guy is obviously passionate about it. This is his vision. This is what he wants. Yeah. Justice League is
vanilla,
a Motley Crue vanilla film.
It has no substance.
No, it is literally you. It's like eating the Eucharist. Well, you would never eat a fucking Eucharist.
No, I don't.
So,
you know what? I tried to take
tofu.
I went
Bob
to
Eucharist.
Eucharist.
Is that communion?
It is communion.
Is that bad if like a non-Christian? Because I went with my friends once and I was like, "Can I just do it?"
Yeah.
And they were like, no. They were like all offended. I was like, why can't I just...
I'll go for it.
Dude, I would've done it. I have like a whole shit of Eucharist.
I've never tasted it. I just wanted to taste the fucking wafer.
You've never tasted it?
No, I wanted to eat Christ's body.
Just go get some Triscuits, the same shit.
And a bite, Jesus
it's
Christ.
Really not. I kind of like the taste of Eucharist.
And then a little sip of wine. It sounds like a nice snack.
That's the blood.
I just wanted to try.
It is actually the blood of Christ. You don't get to sip the wine though.
This
All right,
is my
sacrilege. Where are we going here? We're talking about the Cubs? Or
No,
no.
3 years ago, Anthony used to actually care about the show.
Shit.
Hey, what do you have to say for yourself, Jock?
Can't
Set
argue
the
that
record
point.
straight, Anthony.
Can't argue that point. I used to care.
Anthony actually used to care.
Now, let me ask you this, Anthony. Like, when you began this when you began this whole podcasting adventure with Imran, did you think that there was going to be people in a Facebook group, 200 strong, like, appreciating what you do?
No.
You know, that's like
Isn't that
I mean,
crazy?
like, look at that. That's fucking insane.
It
if you
is
think
insane.
about
I
it.
gotta say, in the 3 years, this community we've built, the people we've met, the listeners we've gotten to know, this is like, it's like cash to me. Like, this is the profit to me. Although money would be nice also, but this is profit to me. I love talking to you guys and you guys hang out with us every week. It's amazing.
It's amazing to me every week that people listen to our show.
Well, listen, we have 200 people that are going on a Facebook group and talking about us. We have more listening to us that are not actively participating. But I think that the fact that there's 200 people that are actively participating and it's growing every day, I mean, that's just something that makes me want to keep doing it.
I'm so proud of this community we've built, actually. Like, I would hate to lose it. And I feel like everyone's cool with each other and they get, and I love seeing the threads on the Facebook group and listeners going back and forth, people that would have never met or talked to each other that are like-minded. Like, it's really cool. All the different opinions and everyone's, for the most part, not a dick. Keep that up. I love that. It's great, man. I don't know. It means so much to me. 3 years ago, my beard was a lot less white. It was more black.
I think it should go full white. I think it should go
Probably
full
what's going to happen.
100%.
I have a QR code on my fucking face right now. I look like a furry. 3 years ago, Anthony and I had not seen one episode of Game of Thrones.
This is true.
No matter how much, remember how many times I told you to watch
Gordon
it?
Radford and Rugboy and everybody in Blab going, oh, dude, you got to see this. I was like, fuck it. I'm about
you know what the thing too about Game of Thrones is now I had a coworker that watched it. Now I have one of my good friends who's currently watching it, and like them watching it, I enjoy just hearing their reactions now to each episode, and I'm like, I like being on the other side now. So it's like I'm rewatching it with them.
Yes, and that's why, listener, if you have not checked out we went season by season and reviewed the series. So if it's been a long time since you watched, go back and listen, because I was listening to Voice from the Underground, one of the early episodes, and TJ had listened to our first season, and he was like, man, I forgot how good Peter Dinklage is. Like, it brought it back to him, and he was enjoying us talking about it for the first time, just like what you said. So.
I know, but the sad thing is that there's so many months until the next
I know.
final season comes out.
It's still a
what
year.
What are we going to do to pump ourselves up for this shit?
We're going to have to stay hard.
I think it's so good that when it comes up, yeah, I guess we'll just have to keep beating off, but not fully going all the way. Just like going to the edge, like right to the fucking edge, and then you stop.
Oh, like Sting style, tantric.
Give yourself a blue ball,
dude.
Just keep giving yourself.
How delicious will that be when it comes?
The blue balls?
No, not the blue balls. When Game of Thrones comes
when we finally ejaculate.
I just like being right about something.
You were correct.
Right about a lot of things. To be fair,
Game of Thrones though was, in retrospect, not that hard to be right about.
No, we were just dumb.
No,
we were just
but
dumb.
I mean,
just
like,
stubborn.
the fact that you were the two fucking holdouts. I was just fucking flabbergasted.
Yeah, you're right.
We were just
we should have been watching that show.
Should have been, absolutely. Yeah. But I'm glad I got to watch it all in a matter of like 2 months in one big chunk. That was fucking fantastic.
It was great.
What a great journey. 3 years ago, Anthony had never watched an episode of The Walking Dead. Remember that?
Remember when it was good?
And The Walking Dead used to be good. That's my last note of things that were different 3 years ago.
Yeah, what a dog shit show
did
now.
Did you watch the most recent episode, Ruggs?
No, I've stopped watching it completely.
Oh, Ruggs, you quit too?
Damn.
Yeah.
Wow. I quit 3 episodes before the mid-season
I
finale.
just don't care anymore.
There was some good zombie action, but there were still like really stupid things that happened. And
like unless I hear like everybody that I run into being like, "Holy shit, Walking Dead!" Did you? I don't hear that anymore.
It's
I just
actually
don't hear any of
this season ratings have returned to season 1 level ratings.
That's bad.
That's very bad.
I mean, I remember every week I'd come into work, not to talk to you, Imran, because you're in your fucking hole, but I'd have coworkers be like, did you watch the last episode? Did you watch it?
Yeah.
Same people, they still watch it. They don't even bring it up.
Yeah, I still watch it and I don't talk about it. It's fucking horseshit.
I had one of my coworkers that sits next to me brought it up like a couple weeks ago. He was like, do you still watch The Walking Dead?
Nobody's
I'm like,
talking about it anymore.
I'm like, oh, no, I don't. He's like, oh, this one episode was all right. I'm like, oh, cool. Like, it's not water cooler
Used
talk
to be
anymore.
water cooler talk. Used to be the best shit on TV. And my God, just end the show this season, Walking Dead. Morgan is now going to be on Fear the Walking Dead, another show that nobody's watching. I've stopped watching that show. So, yeah. Anything else you guys can think of that was different 3 years ago?
I think that we were trying to figure out what this show was.
Yes.
And then we just realized that at a certain point, especially when the nation started picking up, because fan feedback is such a huge thing. And the fans were just like, dude, we just like to hear you. We don't care what you guys talk about.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't try and like we were trying to like watch every show and like do like a episode review.
Yeah.
And they were like, listen, as long as you guys fucking just talk about whatever and just kick it, we're all down fucking listening to it.
That's why I love podcasts, because the show is evolving. It's still evolving. It'll always be changing. I'm not afraid to change things and try different things. Fucking, it don't matter.
Like,
if the show sucks, guess what, listener? There's going to be another episode next week. So
I mean, we see the stats, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, people love the reviews, the movie reviews. But, like, there's no, like, the interviews that we do and the show and certain things, like, they really don't, I think they don't really change that much.
Well,
Everybody's kind of just down for whatever.
And so, largely, it's me not properly promoting the back catalog. So what I wanted to do now is, some of our new listeners that maybe have joined us in the last year, I would like to highlight some episodes for them to go back and listen. The reason this came up is that I forgot somebody posted, hey, where is your guys' Deadpool review? I want to check it out before the movie. And then Ray O'Neill, who I believe is listening to the entire back catalog, I feel like he's making his way through it. He's like, oh, it was on episode 81. I just listened to it. So shout out to Ray O'Neill for listening to all the shows. But our first review of anything we did legit was episode 8, and it was Daredevil season 1 on Netflix. The first movie we reviewed was episode 10, Avengers Age of Ultron, and we had a guest. We've had guests on a lot of reviews, and we've reviewed every MCU movie since. Rugboy's first appearance, episode 13. Any other episodes you guys would highlight, would mention?
The one where Imran talks about comic book artists you should know.
Oh, no.
Because he's
We'll listen to that
literally
one.
reading a Wikipedia page on the air while me and
that's a
Rugboy
great one, yeah.
just sit there.
If you're
I
in
think
the
that's
mood
really
for-
good.
If you're in the mood for a lecture on comic book artists, like you're in college.
We've never actually finished that series.
No. And I won't
We
until
just
somebody
completely abandoned
until
it.
somebody writes in going, "Hey, is this volume 1 ever going to come out?" I don't give. I'm not gonna do it until somebody requests it.
13's my first appearance.
Yeah, what else,
And then you
Rugboy?
got we got Marvel versus DC on episode 19.
Remember that? It was me and you, and
That was one of the first episodes where I was like, I'm out.
You were actually, that was the first one where you were missing.
Yeah, that was like our first me and you doing it. And then like, you got the Bilotti introduction with number 28 at Godzilla Nerd Fest.
If you're a Godzilla fan, you want to check out Godzilla Nerd Fest. We meet John Bilotti. First time, he's been on the show several times. And then if you're a Godzilla fan, go listen to episode 118.
Yeah, it's for Godzilla fans, or just if you're curious about Godzilla, if you're gay about Godzilla, just get into it. All right, just go check it out.
I'm pumped.
Yeah, me too.
That's how excited John Bilotti is about Godzilla. Check out episode 118, which is the classic G-Fest 2016, where Anthony just hits on cute girls and I break shit that's worth hundreds of dollars.
Oh, that's a great one, too.
That's a
Our
great
BVS review, if you just want to hear us hate on something, is number 91.
Listen, that movie was huge for us. That was a turning point. That was when that's where we met David Zika, and we realized, oh, not everybody agrees with everything everybody's saying, and this movie is fucking crazy. That was a good one, because we were like, what the fuck?
That movie was the line in the sand, I think, for us.
Yes.
Yeah, we decided to just go big or go home that day. We're just like, fuck it.
We do not care about all the opinions of you comic book assholes.
We're like, fuck it. This is an
keeps it real,
abomination.
motherfuckers.
So we have ranked the Marvel MCU, but this was way back in 2015. Episode 35 is ranking the MCU. There was
we
only
should do that again at some
There
point.
was only 12 movies at the time. Anthony, when do we do this, before Infinity War or after? We don't have a lot of time to do it.
I don't think we have a lot of time. I think we'll have to do it
We're
after.
going to have to do it after. Ding, ding, ding. Yes. But if you want to see where our thoughts were in August 2015, when there was only 12 movies, check out episode 35. Now, for me, listener, do me a favor. Please check out episode 50. It's Variety Comics, the documentation of the closing of Chicago's longest running comic book shop. 42 years on the corner. I've got a piece of it behind me, a large
It's like a
Spider-Man.
news report almost.
It's my attempt at doing an NPR style show. It's totally different than every other episode we have. But I like it. I think I came out nice.
It's kind of like cool. Like you were trying to preserve a piece of history and just kind of do that story. It's great. It's almost like a reporter.
Yeah, it was like a news story, and I will never do that again. It's so much fucking work, and nobody listened to it. So please listen to episode 50. Anthony, what do you got? What do you want them to check out?
What do I want them to check out?
Yeah.
Like a specific episode?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I got nothing.
Nothing?
Well, listen, like, let's not talk about particular episodes. But, like, I know in the beginning of the show we say news, reviews, and whatever we choose. We used to say interviews.
Yeah, we got a lot of fun interviews.
We've had our share of interviews. We interviewed, one of our biggest ones is the Destiny interview, which was with Chris Barrett, the game designer.
If you like video games and Destiny, check out.
That is
what episode is that? 116.
116.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm not going to tell you the actual episode numbers for these.
You could just search
I'm just going to spout out some names, and you can go look it up for yourselves. We had Floyd Norman, which was the animator for Disney, who had a documentary made about him that's still available to this day. I think you used to be able to watch it on Netflix, but it's available, I think, on Vudu, definitely.
He's the first black animator hired at Disney in the 50s.
Yeah, we had Sean Christensen, an Oscar-winning director who directed a short film called Curfew, and he went on to direct 2 other movies.
We had an Emmy winner.
We had a photographer who Ross Detman, who has won an Emmy. We have had an Oscar winner, Todd DeZago, who was working at Marvel when they were doing the Clone Wars.
Spider-Man,
he wrote Spider-Man for years. Really nice guy. That was a great one. We talked to Greg Wiseman, who created Gargoyles and produced Young Justice and the Star Wars Rebels with Dave Filoni. That was a great interview.
We had Eric Sharkey, who did the Drew Struzan, who's one of my favorite artists.
And directed the Floyd Norman documentary.
That's true.
Sharky's great. I really want
Elisa Jordana from the Howard Stern show, like a Benji's girlfriend and Howard Stern, like calendar girl, I guess.
That show is only on YouTube, though. You got to go to our YouTube channel.
That's true. That's only on YouTube.
No, what about Mike Rips? We have Mike Rips.
We Dope Hope.
We had Dope Hope. Lots of good interviews.
We're just jizzing all over ourselves. This is great.
Billy Procida, a stand-up comic who has a sex show on there.
Kate Amutazo from See Here's the Thing. She's been on the show. All right.
So we did do a lot of interviews.
Yeah, we did interviews, but like Rugboy said, interviews are not. It doesn't matter. I think what the formula that's worked for us is talking about things and having guests come on and talk about them with us.
We're going to have in the future. We're just going to have guests. We're not. They were conversations.
And maybe they can talk about a little bit about what they're doing, but not a full out like, this is your...
what? Because in the beginning when we started podcasting, like everyone's making interview podcasts, and you're like, oh, that's the way you get big. You got to interview people, and you know what? It kind of works. Do it if you want. I love hanging out with you guys. I love inviting people.
It's cool to get people's reactions to news.
That's true. Yeah. Yes.
Like whether they've heard it or not. Right. Like you could just spit something out there and go, hey, the fucking X-Men movie's been pushed back. What do you think of that? And if they do have insight on it that we don't know about, that's great. If they just want to say something ridiculous, that's great. Yeah, especially. Shit. I just want to let everyone know that on 420, the Weed Day, Mike Rips is dropping a new album.
Dude, Mike Rips is
That's the perfect day to drop an album, by the way.
Dude, his episode is 181. Another great example of us finding a listener who's a really interesting guest is episode 155, Science of Superheroes with Adam Morris, PhD.
That was cool. Yeah, very cool.
He broke down what it would take
I think we've overwhelmed our audience with all these episode numbers.
Well, look, just scroll through the feed. Don't be afraid to go back, listener, and check out some of these shows.
Let's talk about what the fuck happened. That's one of our most popular shit.
We forgot to suggest those also for the new listener. You may have found one. You may have led you to others, but we got 8 of them. And shout out to Matt Tellhauer for starting this in 2015.
And what's his podcast? Let's give him an easy piece.
You hear that?
What's it called? The Ginger Geek Podcast.
Geek
I know.
Pod. I'll put a link in the show notes. Delhauer, you hear that lovely, enthusiastic plug from Rugboy?
Dude, we didn't forget about you fuck.
Okay. Now, last thing before we peace out, I have some feedback. I actually have one clip sent in to us from John Seifert, our buddy, listener, truck driver, good fan of the show. Here's what he has to say.
Hey, Imran, it's John Seifert. I sent an email to you.
Oh, this is the wrong one. Wait. Hold on. I'm going to cut this out. Is this?
No, don't cut it out, you asshole.
Email was at $40 a month.
Oh, this is the pay. Hold on.
Don't cut it out, you asshole. You put your mistakes on the air like all of us.
This never happened since I edit the show. No one's going to know. Pause, please.
Okay, now I'm officially drunk.
This the one?
Hey, Imran, it's John Seifert. I said...
Nope, not that one. That was the same one. Hold on.
Jesus, Imran.
Okay, this is the one.
Leave this all in the show.
I have it now. Here it is for real.
Hey, Imran, it's John Seifert. Just wishing you guys a happy 3rd anniversary. I appreciate the show. I appreciate all the work you guys put into it. I'm usually up in Sunday mornings around 3:30 in the morning, so I bet I'm the first to ever listen to your new podcast when it drops on early Sunday morning. I'm sitting here with my cat in my lap and a bowl of cereal ready to go, and I usually love every minute of it, except when, you do a show like you did, but that bomb of a Howard the Duck movie. My God. Anyway, you guys are the best. You rock. And I wish you nothing but success in the future and good health to everybody. And say special thanks to Rugboy for all he contributes. I think he's like the underdog of your group. But I'll tell you, I love his commentary. And I always look forward to hear what he has to say. It's always very interesting to listen to my boy Rugboy. All right, you guys take care. Bye.
Jock and Nerd. Thanks, John. You know what my favorite part of his whole thing is he doesn't mention Anthony.
Oh, shit. Listen, John, with your fucking cat. What are you, a cat guy?
He's sitting at home with
you sitting at home with your fucking cat?
Full cereal, 3:30 in the morning. He's listening to us right now.
You're not going to mention my name?
At
Get the fuck out of here,
in the
man.
morning. That's my favorite part.
I hate you.
Anthony's hurt.
See what happens when you just show up every other show? That was great. Thank you, John Seifert. Finally, I got one thing written to our Facebook group by Andrew Twitch Hatch, which I want to get you guys' answer. He asks a really good question. He says,
this is all you guys.
Hey there, Jock and Nerd. Oh, and hey, Rugboy. Just wanted to say love the podcast. I had a question. See, I host my own page called Comic Book Lovers, where we do many of the same things as you guys, but also host discussions on who do you think would win in a fight to the death. And one of the most argued about fights is the Punisher fighting John Wick. This is a sudden battle with no prep time whatsoever. Just wondering if you could give your take on this and who you think would win in a fight to the death. Thanks, and keep up the awesome work. So, to clarify a little bit further.
Who wants to field this one?
This is you guys.
I haven't seen John Wick. You haven't seen John Wick? It's fucking great. I have thoughts. To clarify further, he says this is John Bernthal Punisher. And John Wick, and they literally just meet in the street and they start fighting.
I feel like, okay, John Wick wins this one if it's John Bernthal.
I agree.
But if you think comic book Punisher, there's not even a question.
That's my answer exactly. This Bernthal's Punisher, he's a hothead.
You handicap the character on a fucking TV show, which is not even the character. Really?
Dude, this John Bernthal likes to scream. He's hot-headed. John Wick would fucking have his gun dismantled.
It's not technically the Punisher.
And shoot him in the head before Frank knew what the fuck happened.
The fucking Frank Castle can deal with fucking powered people.
Comic book Punisher would destroy John Wick, absolutely.
Yeah, in a second.
But John Wick would take out Bernthal. Yes.
Yeah.
That's
no questions.
That's it. That's it, Andrew Hatch. That is the law right there. We have given you.
Damn. That bacon is so serious, boy.
I'm pumped.
Yeah, me too.
Those actually work really good together. I like that. I like that combination. All right, look. Well, that's the show. Thanks for hanging out.
The guy that pointed that out?
What?
That clip?
This one?
I'm pumped.
That's John Seifert.
Yeah,
yes.
me too.
Jeez.
That is a John Seifert. This is how closely he listens. He's like, that was hilarious. Make it a clip. I did just for you, John Seifert. Now double your Patreon anyways. Or not. Whatever. Do whatever you want to do.
Do it is whatever you like.
Ruggs, how drunk are you? Where can the people find you online?
I mean, I'm not like irredeemably drunk.
I don't know. You're slurring a little bit.
I mean, like, I could still have a thought. I just might slur my words.
Could you drive a car right now?
I could. Yeah, I could definitely go to the store and buy some cigarettes. Yeah,
All
absolutely.
Right. We'll get some smokes. And where can the people find you?
Find me on Twitter at reallyarugboy, where I'm, somewhere dancing around 500 followers, which is it.
Oh man, we need to double that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little sad, but whatever.
All the furries and felties need to come out and increase Rugboy's numbers.
There's so many assholes that have like millions of followers. I don't get it. How does it work? I don't get the Twitters.
Anthony, after 3 years, you're going to be here next week?
No. But I will tell you that I'll be on Stitcher.com/premium because I'll be typing in nerd.
Then what happens?
Getting my fucking free month of premium content, including Wolverine: The Long Night.
Sounds like a plan. After you do that, go visit jockandnerd.com/shop. Get yourself a Rugboy or Jock and Nerd t-shirt. And then after you do that, tell a friend about the show. Spread the geekery. Let's get Jock and Nerd Nation to take over the world.
Before we go, I just want to say, hey, happy 3 years to you guys. It's been a nice ride. I've enjoyed it immensely. This is one of my highlights of the week where I get to bullshit with you guys. So, and everybody who's listening.
Yeah.
I'm glad you guys are tuning in, man.
I'm raising my fucking glass right here to all of you guys.
Cheers to
Except
all
I don't have
of
a
you.
glass. I have a fucking water bottle right now.
Look,
I'm drinking anyway.
You're drinking for all of us.
Take a sip. Take a social sip. Look, I appreciate the listener fitting us into their schedule, showing up, hanging out every week. It means so much. This show is therapy for me in a lot of ways, making it as maybe therapy sometimes to listen to it, to keep your mind off the crazy shit in the world. We just want to entertain and make you laugh.
Psych wards.
I hope they play it really loud on repeat.
Yeah. It's that kind of therapy.
All right, you loonies, it's time for your pills. Thanks for listening to the Jock and Nerd Podcast. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
He's the nerd.
We'll see you next time.
Get your hand off my penis! Somebody touch my spaghetti!
I'm pumped.
Jock and Nerd.
I'm pumped.
Yeah, me too.